High school football is back and on air on 1480 KRAE. This evening from the Oakley Blanchard Sports Complex, it's the season opener for the Cheyenne Thunderbirds as they entertain the Campbell County Camels. High school football on 1480 KRAE is being brought to you by our fine sports sponsors. Now, let's send it out to the Oakley Blanchard Sports Complex as we kick off the football season high school-wise as Cheyenne East entertains the Campbell County Camels. And to bring us all the calls, let's check in with Chris Polton and yours truly, Larry Proietti on 1480 KRAE.
Chris Polton, myself, and our new engineer back at the station, Troy, trying to make sure we get the right buttons pushed. So, again, we want to welcome you to the 2019 football campaign being brought to you by Arrow Moving and Storage, B&B Appliance and TV, Baskin-Robbins, Billy Adelman with the LCCC flight crew, Bread Basket Bakery, Burns Insurance Company, Capital Lumber Company, Charles Schwab, Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service, Chick-fil-A, Fat Boys Tire and Auto, First Education Federal Credit Union, First Tier Bank, and Foot of the Rockies. I bring on Chris Polton as we get ready, and we have the East High Thunderbirds tonight as they'll entertain the Campbell County Camels. Camels in the midst of an 18-game losing streak.
Yeah, the transition with the new school of Thunder Basin really kind of limited to the athletes that went to Campbell County, so I think for the Camels, they're still trying to make the adjustment and really just find some type of, well, really all you need to do is get the monkey off your back, and no better way to do what a team did to you last year when East coming down all the way to Gillette or going up to Gillette, winning 59-0 last year. If you're Campbell County, you'd love a little payback.
Well, and also, too, with Campbell County, and you look at Micah Christensen, the former head coach who's now on staff as an assistant for Andrew Rose, is the cupboard was left bare.
Right.
And, again, he's had 2 years, and even Coach Goff made note of this, there's been 2 years that a lot of these guys, as freshmen, sophomore, have varsity experience. So, again, these guys now, seniors, juniors, they know the system, and they know what to expect at the varsity level.
There is, and they got a lot returning on the defensive side. One of the assistant coaches I talked to for East this week said, that's probably the biggest thing that will be testing them is the fact that these guys have played together, and that's a huge, but especially on the defensive end, you got to be able to trust the guy next to you. And Campbell County, with their current starting lineup on the defensive side, has a lot of trust built up. But of course, on the other side, you have East, a lot of skill for East, and we're going to see it headlined by their junior quarterback.
And two things that we will definitely keep our eye on, both of them coming back from injury. One, Graydon Buell, the quarterback, and Christian Anderton, who also got injured last year. Again, the kid towed the ball for 815 yards. So again, I think they're past that injury recovery stage. But again, too, they're back on the gridiron. They're going to get hit for the first time hard by a different team in a different jersey.
Well, and we'll see how Christian Anderson does. Everyone's going to key on him this year. Last year it was Riley Cooper, and then he got hurt. They had Eifert come in, but then Anderson really stepped up. He wasn't a guy they expected to get as many carries as he did last year. Well, this year he is the headline in the backfield. And then, of course, for them, they're going to see a lot of fresh faces in the trenches, both on offense and on defense this year.
Also, we want to thank our other fine sponsors, Halliday Motors, High West Energy, Joe Ed Produce, Kia of Cheyenne, LCCC, Lennox Auto Body, Little Philly, Mary's Mountain Cookies, Medicap Pharmacy, Meridian Federal Credit Union, Meridian Trust Federal Credit Union, Merritt Plumbing and Heating, Page and Zach Lane at Number One Properties, Pepsi of Cheyenne with our Pepsi scoreboard, Pete's Builders, Platte Valley Bank, Taco John's, the Gilt Window Company, and the Wyoming Department of Transportation. We'll take a timeout, and we will bring you our pregame show. It will run like this with our athletic director's report from Cheyenne East. We'll hear from Jerry Slabs. We'll also have the Mountain West Conference schedule. We'll hear from new head football coach Andrew Rose. We also have comments from Chad Goff, and then, of course, we'll give you this weekend's 4A high school football schedule. All coming up on our pregame show right here on 1480 KRAE.
It's time now for our athletic director's report. We get a chance to talk with Cheyenne East athletic director Jerry Slaps. Of course, he's been part of our Wyoming Sports Talk Today program earlier this week. So some of the questions that I ask you today, Jerry, will be kind of, basically review questions that we talked about earlier in the week. Again, here we are. We're out of summertime. It's back to school time. But, of course, as you now are a parent of both son and daughter, and again, you and your wife, summer goes by pretty quick because your children now are involved in a lot of summertime activities that keeps you guys on the go.
Absolutely. It's been a very busy summer between, basketball, baseball, and sports outside of the school, as well as, like you said, my son's a freshman here at East this year, and so we've been involved in the weight program, obviously, which is every morning, 4 days a week in the mornings at 7 a.m. and also coming to open gyms for basketball and going to a summer camp for football. So it's been a lot of fun, and like everyone has said, time goes fast, so don't blink. And so I'm just trying to enjoy every minute of it, and it was a fun summer. It was very, very busy, and it's nice to be back into a routine at school again, but at the same time, looking really forward to the upcoming school year.
Well, also, too, as you got back into school, and actually just prior to school starting, you had to make a quick decision because you lost a coach, and luckily you had one that was nearby.
Yeah, we were very lucky. Coach Katie Ruff, or Katie Blund, she went to LCCC to take a job in the PE department there, and we wish her the best. She's done a great job for us as a coach in cross country and track as well. But we are very, very lucky and very excited to have Becky Fournier, who was an assistant in cross country. She's been an assistant for us in indoor and outdoor track as well, and was an absolute stud runner for East High School way back when, as well as CSU in the Mountain West Conference. And so we got her as our head coach. Abby Beaver, another East High alum, as the assistant coach for cross country. So for having to do something pretty quickly, a week and a half before the season started, things worked out very, very well, and we couldn't be more excited for our new coaching staff, and they're doing a great job so far.
This is a great time of year for you. And again, we have 3 different seasons. We have the fall sports, the winter sports, and the spring sports. But this is where you are absolutely busy as an athletic director. You've got a lot of activities going on at this time of year.
Yeah, absolutely. We have of course 6 sports seasons. We have the we have the cheerleaders and our dance team starting up as well, and so just getting everything organized and planned. Having our parent meetings. Doing the concussion testing the district is doing, collecting paperwork. We have to do that obviously for every sport and every season. But a lot of those kids that are multi-sport athletes, they take care of it in the fall season, of course, and then we don't have quite the load in the winter and spring. So it's a very busy season for our fall coaches and for us as a athletic department and getting ready and planning for all that. We always start out of the gate with the big volleyball tournament today and tomorrow, and we have a lot of those teams coming in and are playing a lot of volleyball at all 3 high schools. And so, doing all the things within our school, as well as getting ready for, home opener football game, as well as the volleyball tournament. It is a lot and a lot of planning that goes into it. But at the same time, we're, couldn't be more excited to start and get things rolling.
One of the things that we had a discussion about on Wyoming Sports Talk today are budgets. And again, when the legislature gets together, they're always trying to find ways to chop monies here, there, and everywhere. Talk about your athletic budget for the school year. Are you in a pretty good situation to, just in case there's an emergency down the road?
Yeah, absolutely. We're very well taken care of in our district, and that's a testament to our district leadership and our leadership within our own building as well. They put kids first, and they find ways to make sure that doesn't change. And obviously, the last couple of years, there's been concerns about budget because of course, things that have happened within the state, and that obviously affects the schools. But at the same time, they've worked really hard and done a great job to make sure that not only people in athletics and activities, but our teachers and our students have whatever they need. And so while we have to do a few things differently, we have to tighten up the belt a little bit here and there, and some of the the items that we used to just kind of spend freely on, that's a small sacrifice for us. But overall, they take great care of us, and they make sure that no kids want for anything, and they make sure that our coaches and our athletes have the best chance to succeed. So we're pretty lucky to work where we do.
You know, as I was thinking about our conversation prior to going on the air, I was thinking back to the time where, you know, you were part of the district, you were coaching, and then you became the athletic director at Cheyenne East. And again, too, you also coached women's basketball. But I'm looking at this progression that you've had through the system at Cheyenne East, and I look back even at the days when you were coaching as well as teaching. It's almost like you got onto the ground floor of this explosion at Cheyenne East as far as athletics are concerned, meaning that, you know, when I first got here, you know, the teams were okay, but all of a sudden now the teams are more in a reload mode every year than they are trying to rebuild. And again, it's a testament to you, your staff, the coaches that have been brought on over at Cheyenne East, that every year, even when we go to football, it's almost like, hey, we all can predict that Cheyenne East will be in the top 4 when it's all said and done.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and I think you're exactly right. I think we've really made it a goal and made it an expectation for us to be, you know, competitive not only in 1 or 2 sports, but all the sports across the board. And you know, at the very least, you're always going to have cycles where things go up and down. But as long as you can be competitive, you know, you feel pretty good, and you always feel like you have a shot at things. And you know, it takes a lot of people to be able to do that. Like you said, it takes coaches, it takes of course, the athletes to work hard and to buy in, and overall, I think what we've really worked hard on, you know, from people even outside of our athletic program, you know, our principals, our administration, our graduation coach, our teachers, you know, is developing a culture and a community here at East High School and in our East Triad, and I think, you know, more than anything, that's probably been the biggest difference. You know, we have in our summer weights programs, you know, you have kids coming, you know, that are just learning to lift, and at, you know, 6th and 7th graders who obviously, you know, we throw them out there with a broomstick, and, you know, because they're not quite ready physically to lift weights, but they're there with the older kids, and the older kids take care of those kids, and you know, we really just feel lucky, and we have a great group of kids that have bought into it and have continued to for the last you know, a bunch of years, I guess. And it just seems to be getting better and better. The events we run, our triad events, our activities we run, our athletic events, I know as the adults have to do less and less because the kids have begun to own it, and they do a great job of kind of taking over for us to spread that message to everybody coming into our school and our triad.
Final thought, speaking of triad, and again, in the old Okie Blanchard parking lot is a brand new school that's being built, KRAE Junior High, which is going to become your next door neighbor here in a very short period of time. You have to be excited, and I would think Cheyenne East in general has to be very excited that KRAE is going to be right next door, and they're going to get a chance and an opportunity always to keep an eye on what's going on at the high school level.
Oh, absolutely. We couldn't be more excited for that. And I know, you know, it's a long time coming. And once again, kudos to our district for making that happen and working so hard to get them a new building. But, you know, they're not that far away. But like you said, being next door, it was going to pay huge dividends for us and for them. You know, we're going to be able to do a lot of things together that we haven't been able to in the past just because the distance between the two of us. I'm South and Johnson and McCormick and Central, obviously, are able to do that right now. And we haven't been able to do some of those things. But we're very excited about that. There's a lot of things we can partner with them, not only in the athletic side of things, but the activity side of things. And, you know, for our students to be able to mentor their kids and for them to be able to, you know, feel more of a part of East High School before they even step a foot in the hallways is gonna be huge for us. And there's not one negative thing about it. It's going to be fun for them to use our track. It's going to be fun for them to feel like they're part of East High School, and it's going to be really, really good for our high school kids to have them close as well, and to have to kind of take on that role again as a mentor more often than they do right now.
Cheyenne's Athletic Director Jerry Schlaps joining us on a pregame show. We'll take a timeout. More of our pregame show coming up right here on 1480 KRAE. It's time now for the Mountain West Conference schedule with preseason action on tap for this evening. Utah State will visit Wake Forest. Purdue, the Boilermakers, will be at Nevada in Reno to take on the Wolfpack. And the Colorado Buffaloes and Colorado State Rams will hook up in Denver at Mile High Stadium. Matchups on tap for tomorrow. Colgate will visit the Air Force. It will be Sam Houston State taking on the New Mexico Lobos. Florida State will entertain Boise State. Missouri and Wyoming will hook up at the War, 5:30 p.m. San Diego State in California will host Weber State. Southern Utah will pay a visit to the UNLV Running Rebels in Las Vegas. And the USC Trojans will host the Fresno State Bulldogs. More of our pregame show coming up after these words right here on 1480 KRAE. Right now we're talking with Cheyenne East head coach Chad Goff, who begins his 14th season with the Thunderbirds program. Coach, I know we had you in prior to the opening of summer camp for your kids. Tell us a little bit, what keeps those juices flowing for you as you head into another long season football-wise with the Thunderbirds?
Just being around good kids. I'm around these kids all year. I see them grow, and just being around them is just what I love to do.
As we look ahead towards this season, let's talk about the numbers. How many kids ended up coming out this year? Again, football season, sometimes the numbers vary, but how's the program at Cheyenne East? Is it pretty healthy right now?
Yeah, we're doing okay. We're probably about 110, so we're doing okay. We had a low number of seniors this year, and so that kind of affects. If we have an average number of seniors, we're probably at 125, but we're at 110, so we're doing all right there.
One of the things that happened this season, you weren't really distracted by the baseballs, so to speak, with the post six, but you did have some kids arriving late because of the Hawks' success that they had in postseason play.
Yeah, my son was one of those kids. It was a neat opportunity for those kids to get to play in a regional tournament. And the couple kids that we did have, they only missed the first day, and so it all worked out. And then they had a chance to go compete at a high level, and that's what you want kids to be doing, is competing at a high level. So it was good.
Now, looking at this year's football team, a couple of kids are coming back from injury sustained last year. Your quarterback, Graydon Buell, and again, Christian Anderton, who was injured, who was having a really good football season for you last year as a junior. Tell us about their progress throughout the summer camp.
Good. They did really good. I thought Graydon has looked better in fall camp than he did in summer camp, and so that's been nice to see. Christian has looked pretty sharp. He did a really good job of rehab and doing the things he's supposed to do to be able to play, and so, they both have done a really good job.
One of the things that Cheyenne East has had over the last few years, and especially during your tenure as the head coach, you've always had some big, bulky offensive lines, and again on the other side of the football as well. Graduation always is a big pain in the rear, but you have to live with it. But you had to replace some of those skill guys up front.
Yeah, and that's an okay thing. I'm okay with having new guys up front. Even though they're new, they're seniors, and hopefully through our philosophy, they've had their hand in the ground enough as freshmen and sophomores, and some of them as juniors, to understand what takes place up front, and they've learned that the speed changes at every level, and so they've done a good job of adjusting, and they're starting to come together a little bit.
You know, with Graydon being back in the gun again and using the read option, so to speak, does he have, I guess the word would be control, coach? You know, I know you send in plays all the time, but does he have that option to check off when he's operating out of the gun?
Yeah, he's definitely getting to that point. He sees the defense. He watches the film that we need him to watch, and he understands what we're looking for in certain things. And so there are opportunities for him to make certain checks at times, yeah.
And I do want to continue on with the quarterback. And again, I go back to our conversation that we had prior to summer camp. This Class 4A quarterback group this year, it's got to be one of the strongest, one of the best I've seen in the 30 years that I've been doing broadcasts here in Cheyenne.
Yeah, no doubt. There's good quarterbacks in a lot of places. You know, McCleary over at Central, Hamilton up there, and Thunder Basin, and Sheridan's got their quarterback back who went to the state championship last year. I think Natrona's quarterback, who's going to be a junior this year, was really good for them as a sophomore last year. And so there are definitely dudes around the state.
Looking at your team as they came back after the summer break, obviously you had camps and you had weight room this year. Did your team come in pretty good shape as you progressed through the summer?
Yeah, I think so for the most part. You know, we had a pretty good summer attendance from a group of kids, and so that's always a positive thing that you're not having to spend so much time getting kids into shape. And the way we've kind of structured things, we're hoping they're getting a lot of game shape with tons of reps. And so we're hoping that we've gotten them ready.
Your opponent coming up will be the Campbell County Camels. They have fallen on hard times over the last couple of seasons. And again, it's no reflection on Micah Christensen. Basically, the cupboard was left bare for him with Thunder Basin coming to play. But Micah now has moved to the assistant position, and they have a new head coach in Andrew Rose. Again, he's a former Camel as far as a graduate, and he's been with the programs up there for quite a few years. Tell us a little bit what we can expect from the Camels, or is that an unknown right now since it's a new coach?
Yeah, it's kind of unknown. You know, we were talking in the office the other day. I bet you since I've been the head coach here, we've probably opened up with 5 brand new coaches. So that's kind of the unknown. We're going based off, obviously, the coaches that they've had on their staff in the past, the kids that we know that are coming back. So we're going to kind of assume that they're running some of the same stuff, but we've prepared for a lot of different things.
Is this a team that comes into Cheyenne, again, with a new head coach, and basically they play like they have nothing to lose?
Well, I would tell you this is what I think about those cats up there. They have a lot of kids that have played varsity now. This is going on their 3rd year, so they have experience, and obviously they're in the process of getting better. And so there's definitely, I don't think the opportunity just to say this is going to be a game like it's been in the past. When you play that many kids that have had, well, some of them up to 18 games of varsity experience, they're obviously going to be a whole lot better in my eyes.
And final thought from me to you, and again, this is meant as a compliment to the program that you've established at Cheyenne East. And again, I always like to say, you know, the top 4 teams, and I'm going to throw them out there: Thunder Basin, Casper, Natrona, Sheridan, Cheyenne East. And you're in that luxury position, in my opinion, that you just reload every year. Does that kind of bode well as you put your teams together and get them on the field and get ready for Class 4A action?
Yeah, I think it helps. You know, with the way we run all 4 levels, our kids are getting that experience, and that's what's helping that reload phase. And we have good kids that work hard and they want to be a part of it. They're proud to wear the uniform, and so that helps in the reloading phase. We've always talked to our kids. We don't ever really want to be that program that's, you know, builds for that 1 year, and once that group of kids is gone, then you're gone. You know, we want to be that program that has an opportunity every year to get to that spot, that top spot. And so the kids have done a really good job of maintaining that.
Chinese head coach Chad Goff on 1480 KRAE. Well, it's that time again. It's time to check out our prep schedule. It's considered week 0 as we get ready to open up the football season for the 4A ranks. Campbell County and Cheyenne East, that's our featured game right here in 1480 KRAE. Other games taking place, the Cheyenne Central Indians will be on the road. They'll take on the Thunder Basin Bolts. It will be the Casper Kelly Walsh Trojans. They're on the road to take on the Laramie Plainsmen. The Natrona Mustangs, they have a home date at Cheney Alumni Field. They'll entertain the South High Fighting Bison. And the Rock Springs Tigers, they'll be making the long road trip as they'll take on the Sheridan Broncs in Sheridan. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back with more of our pregame show right here on 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back to Okie Blanchard as both teams have come out for the national anthem. The band clearing the field as East in their powder blue over by their end zone on the right side. And You know, Nick, East, anytime you get to open up that first one at home, you got to wonder how are they going to handle the jitters. And this time last year, they got off to a slow start. I'm sure Coach Chad Goff would like to see a little bit better start in this first quarter against a Campbell County team that has struggled in the past.
Without a doubt, again, Coach Goff looking to at least start out week 0 here very strong against a team that is on an 18-game losing streak at this point in time. We're, at least for Campbell County, the Camels, a team that has, again, nothing to at least lose here in this contest.
Right.
Again, they're going to put out their heart and soul against the East High Thunderbirds to try and pull off the upset here in Cheyenne.
Campbell County won the toss. They elected to receive, so East will start off on defense. For Campbell County, they'll have deep, number 4, Micah Krumberger, and it looks like number 32, Angel Nava. For East, they had come in as ranked number 4 in the Class 4A. But if you talk to any of their coaches and really anybody around that saw them last year, skill positions is something they excel at. I was joking, while during the break, 7-on-7 contest, East can probably play with anybody in the state. It's what can they see in the trenches, and that's what we're going to get a good test at. Is you're going to hear a lot of fresh names in the offensive line. Same thing in their front 7, as well as no Eldridge, no Valerio. They've got a lot to prove here in matchup number 1.
And do want to mention as well, too, as, again, I've joined you.
Right.
It's kind of like the high school basketball ranks, as it feels like it's springtime here.
I know,
in
I'm
the state of Wyoming.
confused.
Yes, but again, it is high school football, week 0, Cheyenne East taking on Campbell County here live from Oakey Blanchard Sports Complex. Again, do want to mention at least we did have Larry Proietti on the call, but unfortunately had to go back to the studio, at least to help out our brand new engineer. We don't have Jacob Hamill as we did last couple of years. And again, we are trying out a new, at least, again, it's new for all of us. It's all of us trying to get at least accustomed to a few things. But again, Larry Proietti, at least for this week, will not be joining us out again. Chris Polton will be having the main call tonight.
Ox Schroeder will kick off for East in their powder blue jerseys. Campbell County in their road whites with the purple numbers. East will kick right to left on your computer screen or your radio dial, however you're listening to us, whether it be 1480 AM or 1480KRAE.com or on our YouTube page. As last year we perfected it, this year we're making it even better. As Nick Proietti doing double duty, some color and video.
It's nothing new for me at this point in time.
Right.
So, again, we are ready as at least Cheyenne East, ready to kick things off. Campbell County, at least as we saw with the coin flip, did win and elected to receive, so they're looking to at least start things off on the right foot on their offensive side.
We'll see how the new kicking goes for East. Dakota Merritt was the man that did the place kicking and the kickoffs for East last year. This year it is Ox Schroeder. Saw him warm up with the place kicks. It wasn't as smooth as Dakota Merritt was last year, but now, of course, when you kick off, you're just trying to kick it as far as you possibly can. And I have to correct myself. That is VJ Pitter back deep for Campbell County along with Angel Nava. The kickoff is on the way. It comes to the 20. It is caught by Zach Wilcox, who's hit right away at the 23 as East does a great job on kickoff coverage. And that's where Campbell County will start with their starting quarterback, Caden Rice. This is his first start at varsity for Campbell County. VJ Pitter in the backfield with him. They'll have 3 wide, Zach Wilcox, Angel Nava, and Tanner Hillard. They'll have a tight end, Micah Krumberger. Left to right on the offensive line, Adam French, Michael Joswick, Dale Eliason, Kylan Hansen, and Robert Collins Jr. on that front line for East in their 3-4. Aiden Montoya, Nathan Lamb, and Josiah Aragon, your front 3. The linebacking core, Shea Ellis, Trey Bauer, Dakota Heckman, and in the secondary, Cole Michaeli, Ox Schroeder, Chance Allmiller, Christian Anderton, and Jackson Hesford. Chance Allmiller led the state in interceptions last year with 7. He's on the far side as Campbell County will start with 2 wide, 2 in the backfield. It's Pitter with the fake handoff. Race Cohen on the left side. They'll pass. It's over to the tight end. Krumberger complete. There's a flag in the backfield. If the play counts, it'll be about a 5.5-yard gain for Campbell County. Looks like this penalty is going to be holding on Campbell County.
So we'll back up the Camels. So again, not a great start off, at least for this 2019 season for the Campbell County Camels under new head coach Andrew Rose.
Andrew Rose, didn't get a chance to hear from him in the pregame, but we'll make sure we give you a chance to hear from the Campbell County head coach at halftime, as Larry Proietti was able to catch up with him earlier in the week. So what could have been 2nd down and 5 is now going to be 1st and along 20 as Campbell County breaks the huddle. They'll be in a 3-wide set. On the near side, it's Micah Krumberger. And VJ Pitter in the backfield. Under center is Race. He now rolls out to the left. He's at the 5. He'll come up the middle. Tried to break a tackle. He'll get it up to the 12-yard line. About a 2-yard gain for Caden Race on the scramble. He was looking to pass, but great downfield coverage for East.
And again, for the East Side Thunderbirds, this is a stingy defense. It's also to a veteran defense as well, too, under head coach Chad Goff. So, again, they're making their presence felt right now against this new Campbell County offense that has been put in place by at least new head coach Andrew Rose.
A 3-3-5 setup for East on their defense with 3 down linemen. 3 wide again for Campbell County. Pitter in the backfield with Race under center. Going left to right. Race has a man in his face, and he throws it over to the left side. The intended receiver was Angel Nava on the 5-yard out towards the Campbell County bench is incomplete. I don't think Nava was able to get his head around in time.
I don't believe so, but it will be 3rd down and 22 for Campbell County here.
First possession of the ball game started just after 7 o'clock. Of course, no, the first game never gets going right on time. We've become accustomed to.
Absolutely, and again, it is pretty nice conditions here in the city of Cheyenne. Wind, just at least a slight breeze, it looks like, towards the north. But other than that, though, conditions here at Okie Blanchard, fantastic tonight.
Campbell County will come out with 2 wide. That's a fullback in the backfield, Hutton Kramer. With VJ Pitter, Race under center, drops back, 5-step drop, throws it out to Pitter on the left side. Pitter gets through a couple of tackles. He's at the 20. He breaks another tackle, gets down almost to the original line of scrimmage at the 23. It'll be a pickup of 11 yards, but it will be 4th and long, and here comes the punting unit for Campbell County.
And they'll say it's 4th and 12 there for Campbell County, but again, it will be the first punt of the season for the Camels.
Back to punt is Connor Hooks. Back deep for East is Ox Schroeder.
And do what I mentioned for East High tonight, they are in their baby blue, at least, uniforms with the at least kind of dark blue, at least shoulder pads.
Punt is on the way. Schroeder going to his own 45. Lets it bounce, takes a Campbell County roll all the way down to the East 30-yard line. A good punt for Hunter Kramer for Campbell County, as East will now have their first possession. For Cheyenne East, it's Graydon Buell, their junior quarterback. He transferred from Rock Springs last year. He hurt his ankle. I think he broke his ankle towards the tail end of the season, kind of got in the way of any chance of a state championship bid.
Ironically, for one, Graydon Buell did at least injure his ankle and was out for the season in Rock Springs, as East was taking on them at least last season. But for Graydon, looking to do special things here with the East High Thunderbirds, that a team last year fell short of the state championship at least game against Natrona County up there in Casper.
Anderton in the backfield in the shotgun set, 4 wide for East, as they'll be running some high-tempo offense, as Coach Chad Goff wants to get his skill players out in space in a hurry. Handoff to Anderton up the middle. He's got a good gain from that on that right side of about 6, so a good first down run for Christian Anderton, who will be calling a lot this season, as he's now the main man for East in the backfield.
Again, the key factor right here in these first few plays is this offensive line for Cheyenne East.
Offensive line of Julian Yates, Nathan Lamb, Dakota Heckman, Josiah Aragon, and Aiden Montoya from left to right. It's a run to the left side, or a quick pass to the left side. Chance Allmiller comes up with the catch. It's a 5-yard play. It's a first down as Buell connects on his first attempt on the season. In motion, going left to right, is Jackson Hesford. It's a handoff to Anderton, skips over one, now gets to the right side, cuts it back into the hash marks, and will look like he'll work hard for 5 yards on that right side.
And there is a flag down on the field.
So see what the flag is here, is it's a second penalty of the game. First one on Campbell County was the first play for scrimmage. Block in the back. It's going to come back 10. So negate that 5-yard rush by Christian Anderton. As for East, they'll now be behind the chains for the first time. We'll see where they mark the penalty as the officials are kind of coming together here. Let's go through the rest of the starters. Jackson Hesford, Chance Allmiller, Cole Michael, Ox Schroeder. Those are your wideouts. No tight end in the lineup thus far as it's 4 wide. It'll be 1st and 15 for East, as they're going to say that the block in the back must have happened right where Anderton was brought down. Empty set now, 5 wide for East. Buell back to pass, will throw it to the right side. It looks like it's going to be a quick gain of about 3 yards. It's Ox Schroeder on the right side. Looked like a quick hitch play, just trying to get Ox in some space.
And they're going to call that 2nd down and 15 for East High at their own 38.
So they're going to say no gain. Buell back with Anderton right behind him in the shotgun. 3 on the left side, trips. On the left, it's Ox Schroeder up top all by himself. The throw goes over to Michaeli, and Michaeli will pick up 8 on another strike thrown by Graydon Buell. So Graydon Buell not throwing the ball down the field, but getting it out in a hurry.
And again, it feels like with both teams right now, it's just kind of that feeling out process. Here we are, first game of the season. Just kind of getting those jitters out, so to speak.
3rd and long for, or 3rd and middle for East. 3rd and 6, a quick tempo here. They fake the handoff to Buell. Buell steps up in the pocket, lobs it open to a wide open Chance Allmiller, who's down the sideline. 10-5 touchdown. East lightning strikes on a great ball thrown by Graydon Buell.
Yeah, for the East High Thunderbirds, one Graydon Buell, he again was kind of rushing out of the pocket, saw that open man downfield, and 6 points on the board for Cheyenne East here as they lead Campbell County 6-0 with 8:38 left here in the first quarter.
It is a 49-yard touchdown connection between Allmiller and Graydon Buell.
And something tells me we're going to see a lot of that from Graydon Buell this season with East High.
It's Ox Schroeder back to attempt the extra point. Graydon Buell looking for the block. Has to come and get it. The quarterback will be the holder for Cheyenne East. 6-0 the score as they score quickly. A lot better start for East this time against Campbell County than 365 days ago over in Gillette. And as the kick is up and good for Ox Schroeder. 7-0 our score. We'll take a 30-second timeout right here on 1480 KRAE. It didn't take long for Buell to find one of his weapons, and it was Chance Allmiller on the flag route. Wide open, the secondary for Campbell County. Somebody missed an assignment with how wide open he was.
Yeah, without a doubt, Campbell County sitting on their heels in that one, just watching Chance Allmiller just burn him right down that sideline. And again, Cheyenne East now leads this ball game 7-0. Cheyenne East, as do want to mention as well, at least preseason standings or at least rankings, Cheyenne East comes into this game as the number 4 ranked team here in Class 4A.
Schroeder will be the one to kick off once again. It's Pitter and Nava back. The last kickoff by Schroeder got it to about the 20-yard line where Zach Wilcox was waiting for it. East did a good job on that kickoff, getting down and wrapping the man with the ball up. He kicks it off from the left hash mark, does Schroeder. At the 40-yard line, again kicking right to left. Kick is on the way. It's a high kick. It'll again go about to the 25. Wilcox grabs it again, goes right up the gut. He's at the 40-yard line, and that's where he'll be met by a few East High players. Schroeder, the kicker, the first one on it. And Campbell County will start possession number 2 from their 41.
So a little bit better positioning than they had in the kickoff here. We'll see if the Camels are able to pick up their first down here in the 2019 season.
Well, if you wonder, too, if Andrew Rose told Wilcox just to get the ball and go north and south, not too much of east and west there. Campbell County will come out 2 wide. Stack heavy on the left side with the fullback there. Looks like a counter play to Pitter. He's met right at the line. He's still on his feet, but it's going to be dragged down for a loss of about 1 on the play. His first official carry tonight is a -1 gain for Campbell County. His race at his first varsity start for Campbell County. See him a lot under center. Last year when we had Campbell County in South, we saw Campbell County go out in the spread and run out of the shotgun. This time it's a 2-back set.
And like I said, with new head coach Andrew Rose, he's at least instilled this new offensive look for the Camels. And again, looking to see if it'll pay off dividends.
Pitter again on the left side. No room at all. He got back to the line of scrimmage. The fullback is a sophomore. It's number 29, Will Miller, trying to lead the way for VJ Pitter. Pitter, one of the main returners on the offensive side for this Campbell County team that had a lot of turnover on the offensive side.
For the Camels, they sit right now 3rd and 11 on their own 40, looking to convert or at least get their first down here of 2019.
7:20 left here in this first quarter. East with the 7-0 lead, a 49-yard connection between Buell and Aumiller. And the first possession of the year. 2-back set. Back to pass goes Race. It's thrown out to the left side. Pitter bobbles it. Then gathers control. Gets to the 42-yard line straight up the gut. As there was no space outside, he had to cut it up. And it's a gain of 4. It's going to be 4th down. And they're going to say 8.
And for Pitter on that play, that almost became disastrous for Campbell County as he was bobbling that, but found control and made it into a slight positive for the Camels.
Then back to punt for Campbell County for the second time is Mason Dykes. Back to receive is now 2 different players. Looks like Anderton and Ox Schroeder back deep. Anderton on the right hash, Schroeder on the left hash.
As Camels right now switching out personnel.
There is 7 East defenders on the line as they look maybe to come after the kicker. They do. The punt is off on the way. It's only about a 25-yard punt as it rolls to the 30. Now maybe to the 29 as it got a little extra turf roll for Cheyenne, for Campbell County. So here comes East now in their second possession, and we'll like to see maybe for Coach Goff, the only thing you can say that you didn't like on that first one was the penalty.
Yeah, without a doubt. But again, penalties for both teams here. Again, 1 apiece for at least Campbell County and Cheyenne East. Again, it is early into the season. We are week 0, so you're going to have those mental mistakes out there. But other than that, though, of what you want on this possession is what you saw in the other possession, that first possession for Cheyenne East, again, which led to a at least touchdown for the Thunderbirds.
4 wide with the Anderton in the backfield with Buell. It's a handoff to Anderton in the middle. Anderton stumbles down to the right side. He's going to get about another 5-yard gain for Kristen Anderton as the push from the front line is getting Anderton to the second level.
And that's a positive for Coach Goff as well, too, to see his new offensive line creating spacing right now for his running backs.
It's Hesford, Miller, here on the near side, Michael and Schroeder on the far side, Anderton in the backfield with Graydon Buell. Buell hands off to Anderton, spins around one, met by VJ Pitter right at the line of scrimmage, who will drive him back. It'll be no gain for Anderton after a great play made there by the senior VJ Pitter.
As Anderton was just stuffed instantly on that play. They're going to say 3rd down and 6 for the Eastside Thunderbirds. 5:20 left here in the first quarter where East does lead this game 7-0.
Trips to the left for East. Buell, quick pass over to Hesford. He's coming to the near side. He's at the 40. He's got the first down at the 45. We'll get it all the way down to the 48-yard line. A 16-yard gain for Jackson Hesford.
A simple little dump out pass there by Graydon Buell that paid off in big dividends for the Cheyenne East Thunderbirds.
What you're seeing here for Coach Goff is that the game plan is get your playmakers in space, and that's really doing a great job for East so far as Miller on the quick 8-yard hitch comes up with the catch to Graydon Buell, who started out 5 for 5. It's another first down on the near side at the 39-yard line.
It looks like
it's going to be a gain of 12.
Cheyenne East is hurrying up to the line of scrimmage right now.
Buell fakes the handoff. Now Brent comes off to the right. We'll throw it to the back. It's actually going to be a pitch to the back as Hesford will have his first carry. It's going to be for no gain, though.
Again, Graydon Beal looked like he was about to take off for East High there, but decided to at least dump it off to Jackson Hesford. Again, it was no gain for the Thunderbirds.
Trips on the left. Miller right on the line of scrimmage. Then it goes Hesford, and now it's up 5 wide. Anderton's over there. In motion comes Oxford. Schroeder. Schroeder has it on the left side. He's got space. He's at the 30, the 20 on the left side. He fumbles, but it goes out of play. Fortunate bounce there for East and Schroeder, but a big gain for the senior receiver on the fly sweep.
As this has been a phenomenal drive, it almost ended disastrous right there for the Thunderbirds, but thankfully had that lucky bounce out of bounds. So Cheyenne East will retain the possession.
It's going to be a 20-yard run as they'll mark it out at the 19-yard line, and a timeout called by Campbell County. We'll take a 1-minute timeout, 7-0 East with the lead right here on 1480 KRAE. Beal, a perfect 6 for 6 thus far, 90 yards and a touchdown. It's already 3 catches and 66 yards for a touchdown for Chance Miller. A good start for some upperclassmen for Cheyenne East as they have the ball 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line on Campbell County's 19-yard line, threatening to score again. Buell on the play action, goes to the middle on the post, wide open is Michael I. He's knocked down at the 1.
And a lot of Thunderbirds are calling for the touchdown, but no, they're going to say yes, he is stopped at that 1.
Called that a 18.5-yard catch because it looked like he fell in the end zone, but they're going to call the knee down before that. Already over 100 yards of passing for Graydon Beal on the handoff to Anderton, and he's in the end zone on the right side. Anderton with his first touchdown. It's a run-yard scamper. 13-0 now the lead for Cheyenne East as they go straight to the line and pound it in.
And again, we have 3:59 left here in the first quarter as it feels like it's going to be another at least offensive, at least powerhouse game by Cheyenne East over this Campbell County team that has struggled for a couple seasons now.
Schroeder back to kick for East. It's up and it's through the uprights good as Buell with the hold for Cheyenne East. 14-0 the score for the Thunderbirds over Campbell County. 3:59 left. We'll take another 30-second timeout right here on 1480 KRAE. We're still in the first quarter with 3:59 left in the opening night here for Cheyenne East, Nick, and they've done nothing but impress on both sides of the football.
Well, and again, this is a situation where we've seen this matchup a few years here. Again, where Campbell County is struggling, as I mentioned, 18-game losing streak at this point in time. Cheyenne East, kind of a dominant reloading team here in Class 4A. Again, we're showing, at least right now, Cheyenne East is showing off the power that they do have against this very young Campbell County team that is at least kind of felt the effects of Thunder Basin up there, at least up there in Gillette.
Well, being that the last 2 kickoffs by Schroeder have not got past the 20-yard line, they move Pitter and Nava up a little bit closer on this kickoff as it's pooched up high. He'll get to the 30-yard line. Making the catch is number 29, Will Miller, and Miller will be dragged down at about the 37. of Campbell County's 37-yard line, and that's where their third possession will start. Campbell County yet to get a first down thus far. A couple of 3-and-outs, of course, when they had one positive play to start the game, but it was a 10-yard holding penalty that negated that. So no traction thus far for Campbell County on offense.
And 2 out of the 3 possessions here for the Camels at this point in time of this contest have been in decent field position. They've had at least a good in on their side of the field. Again, it is something of, will they cash in? Will they make that slow step to get their first down, or again, whatever in that positive route?
Wilcox short side as there's split wide. Pitter puts the ball on the deck, and he may have grabbed it. No, the East is pointing towards their side of the end zone, saying they have the ball. A shaky handoff between Race and Pitter, and still no signal as the officials try to clear everybody up. And Pitter and one other East player, defender on the turf right now, maybe still trying to fight for it.
As we're going to bring in another official on this one to get a decision. Refs have still not made a choice of whose football it is.
Looks like Pitter will come up with the ball. So Campbell County will survive the loose ball between the handoff transfer of Race and Pitter. It's a gain of 1. So for Pitter, he's now got 3 carries with no yards. Last time these two played, it was 0 yards gain in the entire game for Campbell County, a negative 23 on the ground. They had 23 yards through the air. 2 backs in the offset eye. 2 receivers split wide. As a pitch to Pitter up to the left side. He gets to the 40 on that left hash mark. He's brought down. Looks like the Hesford will be the first one for East on the tackle. It'll be 3rd and 6 now.
So they'll give him a 3-yard gain on that play. Again, as we have 2:40 left here in the first quarter, again, where Cheyenne East does lead this contest 14-0 over Campbell County.
Ball placed on the far hash from us, Campbell County, going left to right on your radio dial or your computer screen, however you are.
TV screen, tablet, phone.
Right.
Again, we got multiple ways to tune in to high school football, high school basketball this year on 1480 KRAE.
Race back to pass, rolling out to the right. Throws a deep ball. Wide open is Wilcox, but it's over his head. Looks like Ox Schroeder got sucked up when he saw Race coming over to the right. That allowed Zach Wilcox free, but Race throwing it about 5 yards past Wilcox, and what could have been a massive play just is now 4th down and 6.
Again, Campbell County interested, or at least a not surprising move by Andrew Rose. Again, airing it out. Just again, this is a team that has has nothing to lose and all to at least try to upset Cheyenne East here on their home turf. Again, very interesting play. But yes, as you mentioned, 5 yards, and that could have been 6 points easy for the Camels.
Won't be shocked if we see a fake on the punt at some point before it gets out of hand by Campbell County. Back to punt again is Mason Dykes. His punt's on the way. It's going to go to Anderton on 2 hops. And he lets it go down to the 10. He finally picks it up. He's got some room on the near side. He's at the 15, gets outside the hash, puts his head down, and will take it to the 19-yard line where Cheyenne East will have their 3rd possession. Graydon Buell, again, a perfect 6 for 6 thus far to start, or 7 for 7 to start tonight. For 108 yards and a touchdown.
How about a welcome back, Graydon Buell, to the football, at least a gridiron for Cheyenne East. Again, guy who missed at least, a few contests for Cheyenne East last year. Again, full healthy right now as we're seeing. Guy who could lead this East team to the promised land, so to speak, here in Class 4A.
It's Michael I and Schroeder on the far side, out wide. Aumiller and Hesford near side. As there's 4 wide, Anderton in the backfield. More of a pistol type set here for East with Buell making the calls at QB. Anderton will be tackled right at the line of scrimmage. Flags come out, and it looks like a face mask call will be called on Campbell County. It's the 2nd penalty on the Camels. Just the 3rd penalty here in this quarter with the 1:54 mark that's left. And actually, it looked like the white hat had signaled a face mask, but East is the one backing up.
And we're still at least waiting the call right now with the officiating crew.
Had to look over to Coach Andrew Rose, see if he wanted to accept the penalty. It's a holding call, so he did bring it to his face, but I didn't see the other hand go up to the wrist. So it's a 1st down and 20 as Campbell County will accept the penalty and push back.
It'll push back Cheyenne East to their own 9.
East will come out, trips to the right. Miller, only receiver to the left. He's on the line of scrimmage. Anderton in the backfield with Buell. Buell back to pass, throws it over to the right side. A quick bubble screen, but not able to handle the pass. They're going to say it was a fumble. No, it was a late whistle as the far line judge signals incomplete. The first drop by Cheyenne East. It was Cole Michaeli, the intended receiver. Maybe started running before he caught the ball.
Yeah. As I say, sorry to say, folks, Graydon Buell will not be 100% on this season.
There goes that perfect passer rating. Two split out wide on each side for East as they go 4 wide once again. No huddle offense for Cheyenne East. Handoff to Anderton, big hole. He steps through one couple. He's at the 20, rolls over the safety. He laid some lumber on Mason Dykes. It's a big gain as he gets it to the 20, or gets it to the 25-yard line. So a gain of 16 for Anderton. 5 carries, 28 yards now for the running back. It's 3rd and 5 for East with that big run. Gets them in a very manageable 3rd down. Fly sweep. It's handed off. Now back. It's a pitch pass. And with it, waiting for it was Michaeli at the 50. He comes down at the 48. I believe that was Hesford with the pass attempt.
Yeah, I do believe so. Again, almost interesting kind of trick play that Cheyenne East has been known to do, and it paid off big.
So Michaeli will pull it down. Hesford will be 1 for 1 now. 27-yard completion. It's a first down with 1 minute left here in the first quarter. Buell turns around, fakes the handoff, comes to Hesford on the left side. He gets outside the hash marks. Now at the 40, jumps over Wilcox and lands at the 30. At the 36, a flag on the play. A block in the back now, it looks like, as it's going to come back again.
As the officials will discuss it here very quickly, and yes, it will be against Cheyenne, so on that positive play, they will back up once again.
So another penalty on East. It's now 3 for 30 yards for the Thunderbirds.
Again, you can see Coach Goff on the sidelines just kind of sitting by himself. Again, it is early into this season. Mistakes are anticipated here, but not too happy about at least a couple flags that have been here for Cheyenne East.
Well, one thing you never want to do is you don't want to give a team that really shouldn't be in the game with you. You don't want to give them extra opportunities to stay in the game. And penalties can help a team, maybe seize a little bit momentum. As East will now have the ball first and about 11. Trips to the right, fake handoff. Buell looking deep. Will lob it up to Miller. He's got room. Great ball. Miller makes the catch over the shoulder and in the end zone. Touchdown, Thunderbirds. A 48-yard bomb. Buell to Miller once again.
Get a beautiful pass by Graydon Buell on that. Again, reading the defense of Campbell County, seeing the open man downfield, and just like that, Cheyenne East is up 20-0 here with 44 seconds left in the first quarter over Campbell County.
It's been a 49-yard touchdown pass between Buell and Miller, and now it's a 48-yard touchdown pass between the two. And we may be seeing one of the more prolific combos in Class 4A in Buell and Miller, as Miller made a beautiful catch. And now it looks like East is going for 2. On the left side, it's bunches to the right with Michaeli on the left by himself in the backfield. It's a pitch to the right side. It's Colton Haugen, and he will not be able to get into the end zone, so the 2-point conversion will be denied by Campbell County. But with 44 seconds left here in the first quarter, East 20, Campbell County nothing. We'll take a 1-minute timeout. You're watching and listening to high school football on 1480 KRAE. A high-octane offense of Cheyenne East as we're still in the first quarter, and it's already been 3 touchdowns, 2 of which have been connections between Buell and Miller.
And we talked a bit off air about that 2-point, at least conversion try by Cheyenne East, but it does seem like Cheyenne East is trying to not so much salt the wound, but try to get that running clock, which is 45 points here in the state of Wyoming here in Class 4A.
Well, and also it's week 0. You want to maybe throw some things out there and try to run a few things. So in the event that you need a 2-point conversion, you can use it. Pitter runs up to the 25, grabs the kick from Schroeder, goes straight up the middle and make it to the 38-yard line of Campbell County, and here comes their 4th possession of the night for the Camels.
And the first 3 for Campbell County in this contest have been all punts. This is a team that is also, too, looking for their first down here in this contest.
Yeah, Campbell County 0 for 3 thus far, as it may have been a sign of things to come, but they have a positive gain on first down on the very first possession, but it's negated by a holding call.
The Camels will start at their own 37 with 40 seconds left here in the first quarter.
2 receivers split wide, 2 tight ends in the set for Campbell County. Hand off to Pitter. He gets through the first level, gets about 4 as he's knocked down by Adrian Hernandez at the linebacker position.
And for Campbell County right there, it looked like for Pitter he had a bit of spacing to at least make a unique and special run there to get that first down for Campbell County. But again, this defense for Cheyenne East is just swarming around any white, at least jersey out there at least on the field.
New receiver on the left side, Dominic Foster for Campbell County, as 2 are split. 2 back set, a handoff to the fullback this time. It's going to be Miller with his first run attempt. He'll gain 1 yard, as that will be the end of the first quarter. All Cheyenne East Thunderbirds here in this first quarter. 20-0 is our score. A 1-minute timeout right here on 1480 KRAE. There's a perfect start as you can get for East in that first quarter. On offense, Buell 8 for 9 to start, 156 yards and 2 touchdowns. 49-yard connection with Miller and a 48-yard connection to Miller, and a perfect so far for the defense.
And again, the only exception or at least imperfection for Cheyenne East has just been the penalties.
Race tried a fake handoff, but he must have He must have forgot what the play was. Nama was going out for the pitch. He was able to throw it out to him on the right side. Nama gets back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th and 5.
And another punt opportunity for Campbell County here.
At some point, you have to think a fake is going to come. If you're Campbell County, you just don't want to lay down. You got to do something that no one's expecting to kind of turn this momentum around. It's Anderton and Schroeder back deep for the punt for East. Back to kick once again is Mason Dykes. Dykes gets the snap. Right-footed kick is shanked off to the right side. It bounces at the 42-yard line, takes a veer to the left, and is picked up by Caden Race for Campbell County, and East will start from their own 42-yard line. And for East, it doesn't matter where they start. It doesn't matter how far behind the chains they get on offense. Right now, this looks like a very well-oiled machine against this Camels football team.
Yeah, without a doubt, Cheyenne East, again, offense, defense, they're looking like a powerhouse team that they are taking care of against this Campbell County team. Again, not looking to slow down. Like you said, it doesn't matter where they are on the field. They are finding ways to drive on down and get points on the board.
Buell will.
It looks like we're going to have to stop at least a Campbell County player having to adjust equipment, so they're going to send him off the field.
That is Zach Wilcox that has to come off the field with a safety for Campbell County. Coming in for him will be Connor Hooks. It is trips to the right for East and an empty backfield. So to the left as Buell will send Schroeder in motion. Hand it off to him on the fly sweep. That's actually Michaeli with the football. He gets tripped up by his own player on the left side right in front of his East bench. Actually, Hesford, 2 and 5, looks awfully familiar. The baby blue with the black is not a good combo for an announcing duo that's way up top in the press box.
Especially, again, nighttime out here. Yes, it does not blend too well.
It is a 3-yard gain, or they'll call it a 4-yard gain for Hesford. Buell in the backfield with Anderton behind him. Shotgun snap, hand off to Anderton. He goes up the middle. He's right at midfield. There'll be a gain of 4 again for Christian Anderton. Anderton now with 6 carries and 32 yards. Hasn't had that big breakout run yet. He does have 1 run of 16 yards, but we haven't seen Anderton get out in too much space thus far.
Yeah, without a doubt, Cheyenne 3rd and 3 right now on their own 49.
They just hand it right back to Anderton, who will get to the first down marker. It looks like the 47-yard line as he goes right behind his big athletic offensive line. I had a chance to talk to the athletic director, Jerry Slabs, about this offensive line. And the one of the things they're very excited about is they may be young and inexperienced, but they're super athletic. So first down and 10 from the 47.
And again, so far as you talk with that offensive line, it is creating space. It's creating gaps right now for East High to find that spacing and get those positive yardage.
Schroeder in motion, trips to the left now. Michaeli all by himself on the right side. Play action, flags down. Buell looking, rolling, throws it out to the right over the head of Michaeli, and that will fall to the turf. It looks like a illegal shift on the offense as the flag came out early from the umpire.
And it will be against Cheyenne East.
Another penalty. That's now 4.
Like I said, it has been a near perfect game for Cheyenne East, except for just the penalties that are pushing them back.
Well, if you're Coach Chad Goff, you're going to think about, you're not going to look at your team based on how they play Campbell County. You're going to look at your team and constantly judge yourself with the Natronas, the Sheridans. And you know when you play those teams, you can't make mistakes. Thunder Basin is also one of the top teams in Class 4A. These mistakes against those teams can hurt you. You can come back from against the Camels, but you got to be close to perfect when you play some of the top teams in the Class 4A.
Well, if anything, this is a nice tune-up game to get those jitters out here.
Buell calls his own number for the first time, and another flag on the play as Buell will get it back to the 43-yard line. It'll be a gain, as it stands right now, a gain of 6 yards.
And we'll wait at least a call on this flag right now. Looks like it might be, and it will be against Cheyenne East as they're going to push back once again. So again, another positive play by Cheyenne East gets negated by penalties.
Looks like another hold call on the offensive line for East. It's going to be 1st and a mile now. 1st and 25, I believe, will be the official count. Oh, sorry, 1st and 20. Allmiller on the short side, trips to the left for East. Buell back to pass, pump fake. He's going to throw it up to Allmiller, who's wide open and all by himself. Catches it at the 20, and he steps out of bounds. They're going to call him out at the 7-yard line. Allmiller and Buell connecting once again. If Allmiller had any kind of awareness of where he was, he could have walked into the end zone. There was nobody in front of him.
Yeah, but it looked like he was just stumbled a bit after that catch. Again, didn't have his feet underneath him, and again, eventually walked out of bounds.
A 50-yard connection between Buell and Allmiller right there. Racking up the numbers so far in this one is Buell and Allmiller. Bunches to the left. Buell fakes the pitch, goes over to Allmiller. Good play by the defensive back as Allmiller looks at his hands. Thought he should have had a good coverage, though, that time by Mason Dykes on the left side for Campbell County. A rare misfire by Graydon Buell, just his 2nd incomplete pass thus far.
And Graydon Buell is finding the personnel out there, and the personnel for Cheyenne East has been wide open. It's just pretty much of them just catching that ball. Campbell County right now is struggling to keep up with these receivers of Cheyenne East.
All the skills players looking over to the sideline to the coaches for the play call. Buell in the pistol with Anderton right behind him, trips to the left. Buell back to pass again, has plenty of time, will come over to the right side. Nice catch by Hesford in the end zone for a 7-yard touchdown. The third one for Graydon Buell, and that puts the score 26-0 in favor of Cheyenne East.
9:23 left here in the second quarter. Again, 26-0 Cheyenne East. Again, the route is pretty much on right now for the Thunderbirds.
And Buell's starting to make himself a quick resume here in his junior season as one of the top quarterbacks in Class 4A in the state of Wyoming.
Again, last extra point attempt by Cheyenne East was turned into a 2-point conversion, but it looks like they're going to go for the one. Actually, never mind. They're going to attempt that 2-point conversion once again.
Buell in the shotgun. Going out to the left is Haugen, and it's thrown high into the right side, and it's going to be caught for the 2-point conversion.
So make it 28-0 now in favor of Cheyenne East with 9:23 left here in the second quarter.
I believe it was Ox Schroeder on the connection for the 2-point conversion. 28-0 with 9:23 left in the second quarter. A 1-minute timeout right here on 1480 KRAE. Eight to nothing as East has gone 4 possessions and 4 touchdowns, Nick.
Yeah, without a doubt, Cheyenne East has just been that well-oiled machine as we talked about. Again, every possession is equated to points on the board. Again, 4 touchdowns for the Eastside Thunderbirds. Again, as I mentioned, this route, it's starting to at least show itself, kind of rear its ugly head right now.
Schroeder will kick from the far hash. Pitter and Nava sitting at the 17-yard line, waiting for the kick from Schroeder. The right-handed leg goes through the football. It's an end-over-end kick right to Pitter at the 14. He's at the 20 on the right side. Now comes to the middle of the field, runs it past the 25, and will fall forward at the 29-yard line. So Campbell County in search of their first down at the very least here in this possession, as it's now their 5th possession of the ball game.
Again, 4 possessions for Campbell County have all at least resulted in punts. So yes, in first at least new head coach Andrew Rose looking for some positivity on this at least upcoming series.
And don't forget, we didn't get a chance to hear from Coach Andrew Rose in our pregame. We'll make sure you get a chance to hear from him in our halftime show. About 9:17 is what's on the second quarter clock thus far. It's a pitch to the left side to Pitter. Has the football on the right hand, puts his head down and gets about 4 on the play. He's out at the 33. They're going to say at the 32. It'll be a gain of 3.
As they keep on adjusting where that second down marker is going to be, but yes, a positive 3 for the Camels.
That's right. For the officials, it's also week 0. So everybody's just trying to get a feel of everything here.
Get back in the flow of things.
That's right. Full slate of high school games here on Friday nights coming your way on 1480 KRAE. A great lineup for this year. We'll be featuring Central, South, and Cheyenne East. Race out of the shotgun, rolls out to the right, throws a skip pass over to Nava, who bangs into the turf in frustration. Another incomplete pass as Race has started 2 for 5.
And the Camels there on that play did have the open receiver. It was just pretty much just really low at his feet. Again, it's just been plays like that for the Camels of, again, a young team that are just making that kind of mental miscues, mental mistakes.
That's the second open receiver that Race has missed as well. He had Zach Wilcox wide open and out threw him by about 5 yards. If he was able to make that connection, that had 6 written all over it. 28-0, 8:33 left in the second quarter. It's been all East all night. Race on a shovel pass in front. That will count as a completed pass. Sometimes you just got to get them how you can. It looks like a gain of 3, and it was Miller on the catch.
And they're going to say 4th down and 3, so it's going to be another punt opportunity for the Camels.
28-0, and East will be looking to get the ball back with a lot of time here in this second quarter. Back to punt for the 5th time is Mason Dykes.
And again, will this be that fake punt opportunity for the Camels again as things are getting a little bit desperate for Campbell County?
Kick it is. It goes to the up-back race, and it's going to be a 1st down for Campbell County. Race is at the 50. He broke through a couple of tackles, but then we got a flag on the play. But you see some life over there, Nick, from the Campbell County sideline after a successful fake. But we're going to have to see what the flag is first.
And we'll see if it'll be against the Camels here.
It looks like they're going to say wave off the flag. They're going to say no flag. It is a 1st down, and for Race, it's his first rushing attempt. And it's a successful gain of 12 yards and a 1st down.
And again, it is the first official 1st down for the Camels on this 2019 season.
They have yet to get the ball over into East territory. Right now the ball sits right at the 50-yard line. 2 out wide on the right, 1 short side.
And you can see that Camels at the sideline have a little energy right now.
1 man in motion. That's Nava coming to the left. Race in the shotgun. Will throw the pass to the left side. Slipping and falling to the turf was Anderton, who probably had the best play on that pass as it was intended for Zach Wilcox for Campbell County. 2nd down and 10 for the Camels, looking to build some momentum on offense as they just got their 1st down and
build some confidence as well, too, as we're seeing, again, a rare kind of error and out where this Camels team has just pretty much been primarily on the ground. But, again, as I alluded to with the Camels, you can see on the sideline, there's a lot of energy right now, at least getting that so-called monkey off their backs here.
They just needed to do that fake punt a little bit earlier, as it was a very well-executed fake punt by the Camels. Fakes the handoff. It's on the No, it didn't fake the handoff. It just looked like a fake as the running back and the quarterback collided. VJ Pitter's going to have a big-time loss as East was in the backfield before the handoff was even given to Pitter. Rice turned to his left, and I think he thought it was a stretch run. Instead, Pitter went more on the dive. It's a -5-yard gain and a timeout called by Coach Andrew Rose, the 2nd timeout of the half. We'll take a 1-minute timeout here as well. You're watching and listening to high school football on 1480 KRAE. Lightning plays on the field, and right now Nick and I are kind of enjoying during that break a nice little lightning storm. Looks like out in Nebraska going on as it's out east of us, which is good because we don't want a lightning delay here. Race will take the shotgun, goes out to the right, and will get it back to the original line of scrimmage at the 50-yard line as he fumbles it out of play. It's going to be 4th down and 10 on that gain of 5 by Caden Race.
But again, it will be another 4th down for Camels. Again, punt opportunity possibly, or will they go back to the fake punt? Again, it is that question right now for this team to see what they will be tossing out there, or will they go for it?
It looks like they have the punter Dykes out on the field. Be kind of riverboat gambling if you go back-to-back punts, as we have more whistles on the field. And now the white hat will put his hand in the air and call it back in play. You got to think, too, if you're East, you're going to be, well awake for the possible fake punt. Back deep at the 20-yard line is Anderton and Hesford. The wind's starting to pick up. as it's a better punt by Dykes. It's going to be out of play at the 18-yard line. Kind of a coffin corner kick by Dykes, as East will come out in their worst field position to start at the 18-yard line, Nick. But as we've seen, they haven't had any issues moving the football, so I'm sure there won't be any issues with this starting position here.
Yeah, without a doubt, Cheyenne East, even with the penalties moving them back at least down the field, they've taken care of business. As you mentioned again, every single possession has equated to points on the board for Cheyenne East again, as they lead right now, the Camels 28-0, 6:05 left here in the second quarter.
And that's despite 5 penalties for 45 yards. All 5 penalties being committed by East have been on the offensive side. Trips to the left for East. Buell and Anderton in the backfield. Handoff to Anderton. He's got some space. He gets through the second level, runs over the safety, Clayton Craig, and gets it down to the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 17.
Yeah, again, as you mentioned as well, with the winds picking up here, it's blowing down to the south.
Well, that time Anderton got to the second level before he was touched. He was able to build up some momentum and just knock over the safety. A man in motion coming to the left, fakes it on the fly sweep, hands it off to Anderton, kicks it out to the left side. He gets to the 50 and falls forward to the 49. It'll be a gain of 6 on the first down for Cheyenne East.
Get a couple of run plays here to start out this possession for Cheyenne East, just killing time off that clock right now.
5:29 left here in the second quarter. 28-0, East with the lead. Buell out of the pistol with Anderton right behind him, trips to the right for East. Turns and hands it off, fakes it, goes over to Hesford on the left side. He's got blocking in front of him. He gets out to the 40, stops, cuts it back in, and will get it down to the 38. It will be a gain of 13 for Jackson Hesford. And they're going to call it a pass. I didn't know if he threw it behind him or in front of him. They will call it a completion. So that's 219 yards on 10 of 12 throwing for Graydon Buell thus far.
And the interesting thing as well to see with the defense of the Camels, again, sitting back on their heels, waiting.
Players in his face, gave a nice little sidearm flick for an 11-yard gain, or make that a 15-yard gain. Math is hard sometimes, Nick. Math is hard.
Without a doubt, as again, you're doing stats and calculated all this stuff. Again, Chinese driving here once again, as they've been doing this entire game.
Buell calls his own number, stiffs arm the tackler in the backfield, gets it out of bounds. I think a short gain for Graydon Buell. Gain of
They're going to call about 2, it looks like, yes. So second down and 8.
Looks like some miscommunication there, whereas Anderton did not want to give the ball up. New running back in the backfield, it's Colton Haugen, a junior running back in the backfield, spilling Anderton. He had another play action. It's a screen play set up for Haugen. Stiffs arms one defender at the 20 and is rode out of play by VJ Pitter at the 17. So it'll be gain of 5.
Gain of 5. We will be third down at about 3 for Cheyenne East.
Another completion for Buell to add to his impressive first half. 4:30 left in the half. 28-0 East with the lead. Buell looks over the defense with trips on the left, and now it's starting to rain. Coming down pretty good here at Okie. Pass over the middle, just out of the hands of Ox Schroeder, as it was a ball that was a frozen rope on a line in the middle. Tried to hit Ox Schroeder on that skinny post, and now with all the rain, you're starting to see people take a little bit of cover out here. All that weather you saw to the left of us over at the golf course has now started rolling over to us with the wind.
But again, the thankful thing is so far we have not seen the lightning that is out, at least towards the Nebraska area. So again, it's just a heavy downpour, and at least play will still continue here.
Buell will turn and hand it off. No, he'll call his own number. He's got some space. Gets to the left side, breaks the tackle. He's got room. He's at the 5, touchdown. A flag on the play as he was running in. And Graydon Buell, to add to his 3 passing touchdowns, may have a rushing touchdown, although he's got his palms up. So the penalty may have been on East, as the offense looks like they're moving back. see what the call is here.
And it does look like Cheyenne East is going to back up, so the touchdown is not going to stand.
It's a block in the back by East. It's their 6th penalty of the half.
And that has been a common penalty for Cheyenne East as well, too, here in this contest. So, again, something that Chad Goff has got to work with his squad here coming up at least this week.
And it is now dumping here at Okie.
But unlike baseball, hey, we can still play some football at least during the rain, so thankful for that.
We're in the press box, so
that's true.
It doesn't
we
bother
can't
us.
Complain.
Does not bother us one bit. It does bother the fans, as you can see them trying to find cover with 4:15 left. It's 1st and 10, as they're going to say the block in the back happened in the end zone. So it brings Buell out and his offense out to the 10. It's a handoff. Up the middle goes Haugen. He gets it down to the 2-yard line as he carries a couple of defenders. Oh, no, they're going to say it was Anderton.
And again, with the rain as heavy as it's coming down right now here at Okie Blanchard, interesting to see how it plays at least an effect on the football now.
Well, it's affecting me and seeing numbers, that's for sure. Turn handoff, Anderton. This time he punches it in. His 2nd touchdown from 2 yards out. It's now 34-0 in favor of the Thunderbirds as Anderton picks up his 2nd touchdown of the half.
And no penalty on that, so yes, touchdown will stand. Thunderbirds up 34-0 with the point after attempt coming up.
I believe they will kick this time, Nick. That's just my guess, though. 34-0 with 3:50 left.
And I do believe they're right. At least you're right as they're setting things up.
Buell the holder. Schroeder waiting to send it through the uprights. It goes right through the hands of Buell. The wet ball may have gotten him. Schroeder picks it up. He's going to the right side. He's got a little bit of space, but then will be knocked out of bounds at the 7-yard line. So the 2-point conversion on the missed catch by Buell will be unsuccessful. 34-0 with 3:50 left in the 2nd quarter. We'll take a 1-minute timeout right here on 1480 KRAE. Four to nothing in the 2nd quarter, Nick. 3:50 left as Schroeder will go to kick off to Pitter and Nava, who wait for it. It's a punch kick, and it comes right to the up man. I believe that is Krumberger that had grabbed the kick. He's on the right side, goes to the 30, 35, and he's going to be brought down to the 38-yard line. It's going to be Hayden who grabs the ball.
And again, off of that kickoff for the Camels, great position, at least on their own end, as they're going to say it's 37, at least yard line for the Camels. Again, they had their opportunity, or at least got over the hump, at least the last possession, getting their first down. We'll see what else happens here for the Camels coming up in this possession where, again, 5 straight punts for this team.
On the near side here, split out wide, it's Dominic Foster as they'll split their 2 wideouts and have 2 in the backfield, Miller and Pitter. Turn around, handoff, race goes to Pitter. It's on the floor, and it's a turnover. A fumble recovery for East at the 40-yard line. It is.
And again, that is all about the recent rain. Again, it is heavy right now. At least it's lighting up a bit, but again, has played at least a little interesting. Again, been a little hectic with that football, and clearly, again, with Campbell County fumbling it.
Aiden Mata, I believe, is the man that came up with the fumble recovery, the first turnover of the game. Last season in Gillette, when this game was played, it was 7 turnovers committed by Campbell County. East scored 3 defensive touchdowns in that 59-0 win.
Yeah, as I look out again, where we just had recent, at least heavy rains, it's lighting up to about of a sprinkle out there on the field.
Buell in the backfield will pass, punt, fakes the The screen comes over to Schroeder on the right side. It bounces right at his left foot on the 10-yard line as East was looking to strike quickly once again. You can see the offensive group for East on the just to the right of us. And the coach that's standing up, as Buell went for the sidearm throw, wanted him to throw it more over the top to get more behind it to get it to Schroeder. East have two split wide. Now it's a man in motion. Hesford will come to the right side. It's now trips on the near side for East. Fakes the handoff to Anderson. Comes to Hesford on the left side. He gets through one tackle and will skip forward for about a 4-yard gain.
Again, Buell with that sidearm pass there. It looked like it was going to be a little bit forward of at least the receiver there, but thankfully, again, averted a little bit of disaster there.
Not to go all baseball on you, but kind of that second baseman throw like a double play over to shortstop there. It's that kind of motion by Buell. Blitz coming for Campbell County. It's thrown out to Anderson. Anderson's got space, but there's a flag down. Anderson's at the 15, the 10. High steps around one defender in the end zone for a touchdown, but it's going to be a block in the back. And so that's another touchdown. The second one in as many possessions, Nick, that will be called back because of a penalty.
Yeah, again, it has been also to a common theme, but again, without knowing at least tallying of how many, but again, that is another block in the back by Cheyenne East. That has negated another big play.
It is now 7 penalties for 65 yards for East. And it's going to be a repeat of third down. It's going to be third and long. By far the furthest behind the chains East has been on this third down. They've been, knock on wood, perfect so far on third down conversions.
And again, this team has been perfect throughout all aspects of the football, at least in tonight's game. But again, the penalties have just been killing them.
It's 3rd and 13 from the 43. Buell checks out what the defense has. They're going to just hand it off straight up the middle to Anderson, who gets it back to the original line of scrimmage and maybe 3 yards past that, as they're going to mark him down at the 37. A gain of 6 for Anderson, and I believe East will punt for the first time. No, they got the offense out there. Going to go for it on 4th down. On 4th down, and it's going to be a short 8.
And again, that'll be on the Campbell County, at least Campbell County 38 right now.
Empty set for the Thunderbirds. 3 to the right, 2 to the left of Graydon Buell. Buell back to pass, has the one come on him, gets around him, rolling over to the right side, throws it deep. There is chance. Miller comes up with the catch and makes the play. Miller started on the far side of the field, ran a post across, and Buell finds him for the 3rd time tonight.
And with that touchdown by Cheyenne East, the big play, 40-0 is the lead for the Eastside Thunderbirds. 2:09 left here in the second quarter.
37-yard connection between Buell and Miller. And I sound like a broken record, Nick, but this is going to be a connection that's going to give a lot of defensive coordinators nightmares.
If it's working, why fix it? Why change it again for Chad Goff? This is a connection that has been, again, paying off dividends and putting points on the board right now for the Eastside Thunderbirds.
It's now 201 yards for Chance Miller and 3 touchdowns for the senior as Schroeder puts it up and through the upright good. It's 41-0 with 2:09 left in the second quarter. We'll take a 1-minute timeout right here on 1480 KRAE. 2:09 left in the second quarter, 41-0. 4 touchdowns thrown by Gritton Buell so far in this first half, 3 of them to Chance Miller.
And again, as it is a 41 to at least point lead for East High, again, do want to remind folks, 45 is for the running clock here in Class 4A.
Pitter will get the kickoff at the 20, goes straight up the middle. He's at the 40, still dragging a couple of defenders. Will fall forward to about the 41. Nick, as we've been saying, Campbell County has been starting in really good areas to start their possession, but 1 first down, and that came on a fake punt.
Well, and again, this is something, as you alluded to at least a few minutes ago with East High, it's something where they can't afford against Sheridans of the world, Thunder Basins, giving up these at least good field positions, because those teams are going to burn you and again, put points on the board. So this is something that East High, for the Thunderbirds, they got to work on before they take on those top dogs here in Class 4A.
Split out wide to the right is Hillard. Near side on the left, it's Zach Wilcox. Race to pass, pump fakes. Now rolling out to the right, trying to get around the corner, throws it deep, and it's the tight end who can't come up with it, Krumberger. And again, Race overthrows a receiver. He wasn't as open as the other receivers, Nick, but still had a little bit of space to drop it in.
Yeah, without a doubt, it is just more so of just getting that ball at least in the good position, get it in on mark, and that's kind of been the difficulty for Campbell County here tonight. They've had those opportunities, but it's just been slight few yards missed here or there that have at least not led to the big plays for the Camels tonight.
Race has started out 3 for 8. And he's got 18 yards. He's thrown to Pitter twice.
Yeah, so we got a flag, at least a penalty out there.
A late flag. And East has accepted it. It's just the second penalty on Campbell County.
I do believe they called that a block in the back on the Camels.
Block in the back, so that's going to put Campbell County where they cannot afford right now. They're having a hard time picking up 10 yards. Now they're going to have to pick up 17 as it's 1st and 17 for the Camels. High set for Campbell County. Turn the handoff to Pitter. Pitter gets through the first level. He's at the 40. Back to the line of scrimmage. And 2 yards past that. It's a nice gain of 9 yards for VJ Pitter. And the largest gain of the night for their senior running back.
It will be second down at about 9 yards out for the Camels. Again, they sit right now on their own 42.
They've yet to get the ball past the 50-yard line into East territory. They were close. They had the nose of the football on the 50-yard line on that fake punt, but they couldn't gain another yard from there as East defense is giving Campbell County, especially this front 5 for the Camels, any type of help. I set, and a timeout is called. It'll be the third and final timeout of the half for Campbell County. 41-0, 1:07 left in the second quarter. A 1-minute timeout here for us on 1480 KRAE. Hands it off to Pitter on a 2nd down and 9, and Pitter falls forward for 5, and for one of the few times tonight, Nick, a 3rd and very manageable as we're under a minute here in the second quarter for Campbell County.
Yeah, 3rd and 4 from their own 47 right here. The Camels have a good opportunity again to pick up another first down. It's interesting to see, will they keep it to the ground or will they at least air it out as they've at least done at least a few times and not been successful on those plays.
Reminder, East will have the football to start the second half. Race under center, turns around, hands it off to Pitter. Pitter will pick up a first down as he gets it to the 49-yard line, the East High 49-yard line. So it's the first down for the offense. And it's the first time for Campbell County that they get it into East territory.
And they do have 22 seconds remaining on at least clock as it is counting down right now. Again, with no timeout, so they got to be quick about this, or unless
I think
they're just going to head to half.
Yeah, lick your wounds and get off the field and try to regroup as Race comes into the huddle. They're going to have to hurry just to get a playoff. They hustle up to the line. 4 seconds left. Race gets down behind the center, gets it off in time. Race steps back, pump fakes, throws it high to the right side. Over there with the interception is East. And looking to make a return is the Thunderbirds, but a couple of flags, and we're going to see a block in the back. So all the running being done right here by Jake Rail will go for naught. Believe that's Jake Rail who came up with the interception. He comes down to the 32. But a flag way back at the East 20 will negate all of the yards gained, and that's the half anyway. So we'll go ahead and stay here and see what the penalty is. Again, a reminder, we'll get a chance to listen to Campbell County coach Andrew Rose, who's in his first year with Campbell County. And at halftime, of course, we didn't get a chance to hear from him in the pregame, so we'll make sure you get a chance to hear from him right after we figure out what this penalty is on the left side,
which again really
for I believe it's against East.
Yeah, which at this point it is a moot point as East is heading towards their locker room at this point. Again, there are 000 on the board as we are at half.
I think Coach Goff wanted to see if there was going to be an untimed down. He thought there was a penalty on Campbell County. It is on East. It's declined, and that will be the end of the half. Well, it's nothing but East as it's 41-0 as we head into our halftime. When we come back, we will hear from the head coach of Campbell County, Andrew Rose, and the conversation he had with our one and only Larry Proietti. You're listening and watching to high school football on 1480 KRAE.
Well, right now we're talking with new head coach at Campbell County High School, Andrew Rose. First off, Coach, congratulations on being named the Camels head coach. And again, you being a young man that has been at Gillette at Campbell County High School, doing your schooling there, athletics, and again, you've been a coach also in the coaching ranks there. Is this kind of a dream come true, getting a chance to be the head coach of the Camel football program?
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of one of those things I didn't necessarily, obviously plan on, but it's the the obvious goal as a head coach. You want to further yourself professionally and get to that top level, and right now it's kind of a surreal experience, I guess, coming through the program and then leaving for college, going through programs there, and then coming back to my roots is always a nice kind of homecoming, I guess.
Coach, you were named back in April and taken over from Micah Christensen. And again, Coach Christensen, who ran into hard times, to be real honest, with the opening of Thunder Basin, the immediate departure, I should say, or the quick departure of Vic Wilkerson. The cupboard was left a little bare for the Camel football program. And again, you've got different ways you can jump around. You can go play basketball here, but you can play football there. It was kind of a raw deal for Coach Christensen, but unfortunately, he had to step down and you took over.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, we're not, but we're not, a program that's ever going to make excuses because, just because we have plenty of kids that are committed to our program. So saying that we're not, at the same caliber or anything else like that would be discrediting the amount of work that they're actually putting in. But obviously we started, that split season where we have Thunder Basin and then us with 4 seniors, and that was pretty much our upper class. That whole junior senior class, we're and on down to 8th grade, we're given a choice of where they wanted to go, and I don't fault them for wanting to go to the new school. Heck, if I was in their same decision, mode as a young kid, I'd probably want to go where everything was brand new, where my buddies were going to. So I mean, it's just not, it's not anything that we're hanging our heads about or anything like that. I think Micah did an absolute fantastic job, and so much so, I kept him on staff. I pleaded for him to, stay, even though he's, not part of the head coaching regime, for football, that, he still loves the game, loves his kids, and loves the program enough to, stay around. It's just a time commitment that comes along with the head coach that, with everything that he's got going on in his own life, that, he's an athlete beyond belief. And I think he handled everything with that split absolutely phenomenally. And I think that's honestly why we're where we're at today with, a huge senior class, great junior class, and more commitment than we've seen, in years when we were one high school. So
let's talk about the numbers. How were the numbers for summer camp as kids reported for football this year?
We took 50 to camp, and in years past we were sitting, that first year we took 18 to camp after we split, and then the second year we were sitting upper 30, lower 40 range. And so we're continuing to build every time, but the biggest change that we've seen is that summer weight room and conditioning aspect of it. We had last year maybe 13 kids that were at 80%, and now we were 35 at 85% and over 45 for 65%. So, numbers wise, things are getting, we're pumping up that commitment level just in the off season.
Also, too, with these young men that have been with you, and again, we're talking guys that were pressed into service as sophomores who are now seniors, and again, underclassmen that also got a lot of playing time as well. You have to be in that positive mode, Coach, that, you got a veteran squad that's going to be stepping on the field, and teams can't look past the Camels anymore.
No, I definitely agree. We played more freshmen in that first season after the split than any other varsity program for sure. It's the situation we were in. We took it, we rolled with it. It was completely kind of out of our control, and the kids, rolled with it really well. And they're seeing the fruition of it all just because they've known what to expect for 3-4 years now for some of them that are going to be coming up in, junior year, that have played varsity football. And, like you said, those kids that were sophomores that are now going to be playing varsity football again for their 3rd season. They know what it takes. For some of them, they've been getting their butts kicked every game, and understand, like, if I want to fix this, if I want to change it, this is what I have to become. And they're starting to take those steps for sure.
Coach, I've covered high school football for a long, long time, and always watching the Camels play, even back in the heyday, good mixture of a very good, strong running back, and that matches up with a good passing game. I know back in the day, the tight end was one of your featured receivers. Tell us a little bit what we can expect on both sides of the football under your direction.
Defensively, there's not going to be a heck of a lot of movement. We retained Coach Christensen for a reason. I mean, he's probably, I would argue to say that he's probably the
the best defensive coordinator in the state, and I'd go to fisticuffs on that. But offensively, we're transitioning a little bit. We used to be a spread team, and we are going back to a little old school smash mouth football where we're pounding the rock and trying to control the tempo of the game. That includes some tight end set, and we're basing our offense based on the personnel that we've had, and we have a really strong running back crew. We have a quarterback that can sling it a country mile. Caden Race is a baseball player. He throws a 80-some-odd mile-an-hour fastball, so he's a good asset to have, and he's got quick feet as well.
Final thought as you make the trip down to Cheyenne to take on the East Thunderbirds, and one of the nice things, and I've paid that compliment to Coach Goff in his 14 years now at the helm for the T-Birds. East has become one of those prolific teams in Class 4A where they don't have to rebuild; they just reload every year. So you come out of the box with one of the top teams in the 4A conference. So tell us a little bit what you expect from the Thunderbirds.
The first game of the season is always kind of a toss-up. I mean, last year we were preparing all season for a 3-front. They showed up with a 4-front. So, but that's most of the state now. We're preparing for everything. It's kind of one of those things where you got to give credit where credit is due. There's a reason why that they're sitting, I believe, number 4, in the state, is because they do have quite a few returning athletes that we really have to take into consideration. They have that quarterback that came from Rock Springs that can really throw it pretty well. So we're anticipating a little bit heavier on the pass game. It's just defensively, I think they have a really solid squad. Their linebackers read pretty well. They don't necessarily, at least towards the end of the season, they don't cheat too much. They don't take too much guessing games. So, and they're returning quite a bit of varsity level dudes. So, I mean, we have our hands full, but we're chomping at the bit for the state to kind of see what we've been working on these last 3 months.
Campbell County Camels head coach Andrew Rose, first-year head coach on 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back to Okie Blanchard. We're now in a lightning delay here at halftime, so the Lightning waited at least until halftime. It is 41-0 here. It's been all Cheyenne East all night, and it started right from that first play as far as the downhill slope to a negative start for Campbell County.
Yeah.
As the first play is a positive play, but then it gets negated on the penalty, the holding penalty, to start them off.
Well, and again, that's kind of been a common theme, whether it is Campbell County or Cheyenne East throughout this game. More so Cheyenne East, who have had the bigger plays on the offensive side. But again, talk about at least the different, or at least discrepancy on penalties has been more, ironically, in this game where Cheyenne East does lead 41-0 over Campbell County. They have more penalties, but again, it has not really affected them too much. They've been able to capitalize and at least not so much dig themselves in that hole. So, again, for Cheyenne East, for Campbell County, again, it is week 0. Both teams trying to get over those mental miscues, but right now, at least for Cheyenne East, they've been able to at least get past it, not worry about it, and put points on the board.
Yeah, and for East, it's, like you said, if you're Coach Goff, you're going to take some of the bad, but there's definitely been a lot of good. Let's take a quick moment and thank our sponsors that have joined us for the high school season for football and basketball. Of course, LCCC, which the schedule has already come out. And
both men and women.
Right.
We just got the men, at least today, from head coach Jason Ficca, so looking forward to that again. A busy sports season here on 1480 KRAE, 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com, and video live streaming. There might be a little hiccups and delays as we, again, work with the technical equipment and also to the internet access out here in the state of Wyoming. But, again, Periscope via Twitter at Nick Wiles Sports, and also on the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel.
It is our week 0 as well. But we'd like to thank Arrow Moving and Storage, B&B Appliance, Baskin Robbins, Billy Adelman, Bread Basket, Burns Insurance Company, Capital Lumber Company, Charles Schwab, Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service, Chick-fil-A, Fat Boys Tire, First Education Federal Credit Union, First Tier Bank, Foot of the Rockies, Halliday Motors, High West Energy, Joed Produce, Kia of Cheyenne, LCCC, Lennox Auto Body, Little Philly, Mary's Mountain Cookies, Medicap Pharmacy, Meridian Federal Credit Union, Merritt Plumbing and Heating, Page and Zach Lane at Number One Properties, Pepsi of Cheyenne, our official sponsor of our scoreboard. Again, 41-0 East over Campbell County. Pete's Builders, Platte Valley Bank, Taco John's, the Gill Window Company, and YDOT are our high school sponsors for this season. And Nick, I think you got some scores as well.
And yeah, you mentioned
with
Pepsi of Cheyenne again, who is our scoreboard sponsor, whether it is on Wyoming Sports Talk today or for our high school and LCCC broadcast. Again, looking at Class 4A here, again, as it is week 0. Looking at a few, at least, contests going on, at least underway right now. How about the Laramie Plainsmen at home over there in D-Ty Stadium, leading the Kelly Walsh Trojans 30-14. That is in the fourth quarter. So the Plainsmen have a bit of their way with the Kelly Walsh Trojans. A bit of surprise on my end in that contest. How about this Thunder Basin Bolts? Sorry, if you were.
I was going to say, Laramie had a big lead last year against Kelly Walsh and then kind of choked it late in the fourth quarter. So we'll see if Laramie has learned from their mistakes from last year.
At least with Kelly Walsh, they are also too. Same with Campbell County under a new head coach out there in Casper. Up in Thunder Basin, or at least up in Gillette, Thunder Basin Bolts, they lead the Central High Indians 30-0. So again, a rough one up there for head coach Mike Apodaca. That is in the third quarter. Looking at a few other contests up in the Oil City, up there in Casper, Natrona County, the Mustangs hosting the Cheyenne South Fighting Bison at half. How about this one, 34-6? So the Bison at least getting points on the board where they were unable to last year against at least Natrona County Mustangs. So at least good to see that they were at least giving a fighting effort. And then there is a final in the books up in Sheridan with the Sheridan Broncs taking care of business against the Rock Springs Tigers 23-7. Again, that is a final up there in Sheridan.
We'll take a 2-minute timeout. And as we're getting about 17 minutes and 30 seconds as we're in a lightning delay here at half. And hopefully that's the only lightning delay we have.
And again, we have the perfect reflection.
Right.
It seems like all the lightning is more out to the Nebraska side of things. Again, there's not rain coming down. There's not even a sprinkle. So it looks like the system has moved on. But again, we do have 17 minutes. Again, it is at least protocol by the Wyoming High School Activities Association. Again, at least for player safety, fan safety. Again, that's why they have that extended delay. But when we come back from that timeout, though, Chris Polton, he's been tabulating stats. Again, that pin's been on fire over there in that clipboard. It seems like it's a little torch there, but again, you do have stats, and there's going to be plenty of it on the Cheyenne East side of things.
Yeah, we'll get to that after this 2-minute timeout. You're watching and listening to high school football on 1480 KRAE. Welcome back to Okie Blanchard. Again, we're in a lightning delay here for about another 14 and a half minutes. It's 41-0 though East as they supplied a plenty of lightning in that first half.
I see what you did there.
Yeah,
Chris.
right? You
I
like that? Yeah, now that you're a dad of 2, you got to come up with better dad jokes. So that's probably my best one I got tonight. So, and I used it early. So let's talk about Graydon Buell first. The junior went 14 for 17 for 279 yards. He also had 4 touchdown passes. He had a rushing touchdown, but was negated by a holding call. For Buell, he had a 49-yard connection with Miller, a 48-yard connection with Miller, and 37-yard, and then a 7-yard touchdown from Buell to Hesford. As far as the running game goes, Anderton, 12 carries, 74 yards. He also had 2 touchdowns, a 1-yard and a 2-yard touchdown. Ox Schroeder had a 20-yard run, and Buell has a run of 2 yards. Jackson Hesford has also carried the ball twice for 4 yards. As far as receivers go, Buell is connected with 5 different receivers. Chance Miller, 6 catches for 201 yards and 3 touchdowns for the senior receiver. Cole Michaeli, he's also collected 4 catches for 65 yards. Hesford with 4 catches, 45 yards. Schroeder has 1 catch for 3, and then Haugen with a catch for 5.
But essentially, as you're reading off the stats, it's pretty much everyone's getting a fair shot at that football out there. Again, thanks to one Graydon Buell, who's been able to spot those receivers, find that open spacing against that Campbell County defense. And again, right now, that's where we at. Again, Cheyenne East up 41-0. Again, as we head into the second half, again, as we're about 12 minutes away due to the delay.
And for Campbell County, their quarterback, Caden Race, is 3 of 9 for 18 yards. VJ Pitter, 10 carries, 25 yards. Race has 3 carries for 19 yards. And it's Wilcox, the fullback, with 1 carry for 1 yard. Pitter has 2 catches in that first half, 2 catches for 14, and Wilcox with a catch for 4 yards. Just 2 first downs. They got one on the fake punt by Caden Race, and then VJ Pitter picked one up and actually getting it across the 50-yard line into East Territory for the first time late in that half.
But for the Camels, again, this is a team on an 18-game losing streak that they are rebuilding. They are trying to get over that small hump. Again, I equate them to Cheyenne South, where you look at the small positive. You're trying to climb over those small hills to kind of work into whether it is getting points on the board or at least dominating a quarter of football. Again, for Campbell County, it's going to be like that this season, especially when you're taking on this powerhouse Cheyenne East team that we talk about rebuilds. It does not reload. It rebuilds every year, where, again, for Campbell County, these couple first downs, it is that small, at least, hill to climb that they got over, and we'll see what happens, what Andrew Rose at least tells his student athletes out there for the Camels of how to approach the second half, what they need to do to at least, again, get downfield or get points eventually on that board.
The one black spot for East in that first half, 8 penalties for 75 yards against the Thunderbirds. Campbell County, 2 penalties for 20 yards. There was 1 turnover in that first half. It was a fumble on the handoff between Race and Pitter. It was recovered by number 20, Aiden Mata for Cheyenne East. That's the one and only turnover. As far as East goes, they've had 6 possessions, 6 touchdowns, and in the 6 possessions for Campbell County, just 2 first downs, and that says a lot about this 41-0 scoreboard. What we're going to do now is we're going to step aside, bring you some good tunes as we are still about 10 and a half away from halftime. When we come back, though, we will have the second half for you.
Absolutely. Again, as we're about 10 minutes and 30 seconds away from that half beginning here at Okie Blanchard Sports Complex. Again, also, too, on the radio side of things, we will have those great hits, great oldies on 1480 KRAE as we do Monday through, or they say, again, 24/7, 365. Right. But on the video live streaming portion, whether it's Periscope or the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel, again, we will keep it live to a live view of the field. Again, it will keep up, but no audio. So, again, just kind of bear with us for those 10 minutes as we step away from the mics before we get back and get ready, as I see teams already coming back out. But, again, we do have to officially wait for that 10 minutes.
Yeah, all right. So 10 minutes away, we'll have the second half for you. You're listening and watching to high school football on 1480 KRAE. Well, the Lightning delay is almost over. Both teams are out on the field. The kickoff return team will make their first appearance for East as they get settled. They tried to get on the field a little bit early. They're getting antsy, Nick, as far as the Thunderbirds go, but you can't blame them. Up 41-0 after nearly a perfect half. Not a lot Coach Goff probably had to say to his team in the break other than the penalties.
Well, yeah, again, that would be the only issue for Cheyenne East is basically clean up things. Again, avoid these penalties that are costing our team to at least, again, have to work essentially a little bit harder to get these points on the board. But, again, where we stand 41-0 in favor of Cheyenne East. Again, do want to remind folks they are 4 points away from hitting that 45-point mark, which does mean here in Class 4A, or at least here in the state of Wyoming, that it would be a running clock, which means that outside of timeouts, the clock continues to run.
Yeah, and at some point, too, we'll see if how quickly they will, they being Coach Chad Goff, will go to the JV team. Of course, with East starting with that first possession, you know for sure you'll see the starters out there for the offense and the defense, at least to begin this quarter. But you got to think at some point Coach Goff's going to give some varsity experience to some JV kids.
Yeah, without a doubt, get that opportunity. We already saw little trick plays by Cheyenne East, again, with the 2-point conversions earlier in this contest. Again, they are basically out there to, again, try out things of when they have to, at least when it becomes necessary against the Natrona counties and Sheridans of the world, when they face them later down, at least here in the 2019 campaign.
Campbell County will take the field. They'll kick off. They will be kicking from right to left on your radio dial, computer screen, TV, whatever. However you're listening or watching to us, again, as
which we greatly appreciate.
All options.
All option as well, too. Again, they are completely free of what we offer here on 1480 KRAE. All we ask you, especially on the visual side, is if you have not subscribed, which is completely free, go right ahead and hit that button for us. Again, we greatly appreciate it, as they've added about 225 on the board once again. For whatever reason, I think it's just more so for players to kind of get warmed up, but it seems like both teams are ready to rock right now.
It looks like for Campbell County, it will be number 83, Nate King, to do the kicking. Back deep for East is Ox Schroeder and Christian Anderton. They're sitting at about the 10-yard line. To the left of us up here is we're at Okie Blanchard for week number 1. Next week, I believe.
Well, at least week 0.
Oh, sorry.
Week 0, yes. Next week will be week 1, where we'll be at least across town over at Cheyenne Central, as we will see at least the Sheridan Broncos come on down to take on at least the Central High Indians in that week 1 matchup. Again, as I mentioned earlier, at least Central up in Thunder Basin, up in Gillette right now. Again, they are at least losing in that contest, unfortunately, 30-0 against the Thunder Basin Bolts.
Well, and a tough slate of games to start for Central, just like last year, having Thunder Basin and then Sheridan, probably 2 of the top 3 teams in the Class 4A. Of course, Thunder Basin, we saw them open up against Central last year, and they had the Mason Hamilton, who's a senior now, maybe one of the best quarterbacks in the state Class 4A, with Graydon Buell right with them or just below him, but some good quarterback play being done here in Class 4A.
Yeah, as we say, Class 4A has just been, it's almost just QB dominated up and down. Again, a lot of talent here, and again, a lot of at least big arms to showcase off of what they can do, and again, kind of give those at least specialty, or again those wideouts, those running backs, again those opportunities to make big plays here in Class 4A.
Yeah, Dawson McCleary over at Central, he had a great year last year once he got a little bit more comfortable in that Mike Apodaca offensive system. He's going to have to find a new target as Nico Vite has graduated and moved on. So it'll be interesting to see how Coach Apodaca's team has improved from year 1 to year 2. As we are still waiting about 20 more seconds for the clock to run down to 0. They're trying to get everything as official as possible here when it comes to the time. It's again Anderton and Schroeder at the 10-yard line, back deep for East. East will go left to right. They're in their baby blues with the white helmet to start an announcer's dream, or play-by-play announcer at least dream from the press box, the baby blue and the black. Campbell County in their road whites with the purple numbers, black on the outline, as it looks like Nate King is going to get ready to kick it off. He's at the 45, will run up to the ball at the 40, give it a quick squib kick to the right side. It's going to roll out of bounds and not touched by an East player, so that ball will come out to the 40-yard line.
So not a great start for the Camels coming out at halftime there again, where it'll be penalized again. Give Cheyenne East once again great field position.
Actually, this 40-yard line may be the best field position they've had. Actually, I lied. It's not the 40. They're going to place it at the 35. It must have. Of course, they haven't even dropped the ball down yet. It's going to be on the far hash, and it will be at the 35-yard line. Buell will come out to start this third quarter. He's got Michaeli and Schroeder to his right, and on the left, it's Hesford and Allmiller. Allmiller with 3 touchdowns in that first half. 6 catches, 201 yards for the senior. Anderton in the backfield with Graydon Buell in the pistol, as Anderton's just behind him, about 2 yards behind. It's a handoff to Anderton. He gets up the middle, and he's going to be dragged down after a gain of 7 on the first down play for East of the second half.
And again, just starting that run game dominance that Cheyenne East has been doing so far. Again, in the air, on the ground, East has been phenomenal here against the Camels.
2nd and 3 from the 42. 2 split out to the left and the right now. Schroeder in motion. Fakes the fly sweep, hand it off to Anderton. He's got a big hole. He gets to the outside. He's at the 50 and down to the 46-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 12 for Christian Anderton.
And just like that, Cheyenne East, after 2 plays, is already in Campbell County territory. Again, they sit right now at the 46-yard line.
It's the Campbell County 46-yard line for East, as Buell and his other skill players look over to the sideline, getting the offensive play call. Right leg of Buell comes into the air. The snap comes back to him with Anderton in the backfield. Fakes the handoff, fakes the pitch, has a man coming on his back hip, throws it over to the left side. It's intercepted. Campbell County comes out with a stop to start the third quarter. It's an interception. I believe that interception was Will Miller.
Again,
Mason Dykes, I beg your pardon.
Again, that pass by Graydon Buell just kind of tossed that up, again, very lightly. Again, you saw the wide receiver there at least, again, kind of not give the full 100% effort there. And again, turnover, the first turnover for Cheyenne East. Again, Campbell County now has an opportunity to, again, take this in a positive route.
Yeah, it looked like Buell was trying to go my guy versus your guy. I'm going to give my guy the confidence that he'll make a play, and I believe that was Allmiller, who just didn't go and get it at the high point.
And also, too, with Graydon Buell, a situation as they showed blitz for Campbell County, again, almost he felt that pressure on his back, and it felt like maybe he had to at least rush that pass.
I set, slot man in motion, that's Krumberger. It's going to be a handoff down the middle for Pitter. Pitter will roll himself over one defender for a gain of 3.
And just like that, where Cheyenne East, it felt like they were about to at least move down the field and put more points on the board. Now momentum shifts just ever so slightly now to the Camels to see what they can do here on this possession.
Well, for Graydon Buell, maybe the first mistake that he made, an aggressive mistake. I think at times that Coach Chad Goff would take that play and he'd just expect his receiver to make the play. But for Buell, it's his first interception on the season. Turnaround handoff race to Pitter again. He gets through the first level, bounces off a couple of tacklers, gets to the 32, and that will be a first down as it's a gain of 9.
So again, as this Camels struggled the entire first half to get a first down, here they are on their second possession here early in the third quarter. Again, at least picking up a first down.
Thus far, that longer halftime, that Super Bowl-like halftime has benefited Campbell County, as East may be a little bit asleep here to start this third quarter. Race under center, 2 backs behind him in the I formation. Handoff to Pitter again, up the middle. Pitter gets around 1 defender in the middle and then falls forward to the 35. It's another 3-yard gain, but we have a flag on the far side as the sideline official is the one that throws it. See who the penalty is on. It looks like it's going to be coming back.
It looks like that may be the case. It will be against Campbell County. And that will back up things for the Camels.
Last thing you want to do is get the train rolling. It's going to be a false start. So that's their third penalty, now 25 yards worth of penalties for Campbell County.
Which is, again, surprising to say that they are dominant. At least the one positive here in tonight's game for the Camels is that they've had less penalties than their counterparts Cheyenne East.
Good crowd on hand to start the game. A lot have left since that lightning delay, and of course it did come down pretty hard here in that second quarter. Offset eye, Pitter has it up the middle, has a good hole, gets it back to the original line of scrimmage, but another flag on the floor.
Again, that was thrown immediately, at least in the East defense.
Illegal shift. They had 2 men in motion. So it's going to be a repeat of first down. It's going to be 1st and 20 now for Campbell County. They had Krumberger and their fullback, Mason Dykes, in motion at the same time.
So here, as we saw earlier in this contest with Cheyenne East, again, big plays being negated by penalties. Now it's affecting Campbell County after their first down here in the third quarter.
And what hurts for head coach Andrew Rose is it looks like your offense is starting to build some momentum, and then it's not the defense that's stopping you, it's yourself. Self-inflicted wounds. Hillard in the motion. They hand it off to Pitter, who's met right at the line. He may have gained 1, but being popped there, making the contact there is Nathan Lamb.
And they will
on
say,
Pitter.
Yeah, they will say he gained at least 1, and again be 2nd and 19 at least for the Camels, their own 23.
And for Caden Race, he has been able to roll out of the pocket and had some open receivers. He has not been able to connect with them, however. Just 3 of 9 for 18 yards for Caden Race.
Yeah,
Race, a junior quarterback.
As we are live here at Okie Blanchard Sports Complex, 1480 KRAE, 1480 AM, 101.1 FM on the radio dial.
I formation for Campbell County. Fakes the pitch, now handed off, and nobody was fooled on that one as Miller took the handoff and loses 2 on the play. They tried the fake pitch and then handed to the fullback on an underneath handoff, but waiting for him was Nathan Lamb again.
And right now on this drive with those penalties, it seems like this Camels team is just gassed out here. Again, I also too got to give credit to Cheyenne East. That defensive front has been great tonight.
It is 3rd and a long 22 for Campbell County as they go 3 wide. It's a draw play, and they looked very unorganized as East meets Pitter right when he grabs it in the backfield. It's going to be a loss of 4 for Pitter.
Yeah, again, collision there between quarterback and running back there for the Camels. Again, we're at least more yardage back for the Camels. Again, 4th down for them.
And again, you have a new quarterback in there. His first start, you got to think probably feeling a little bit of the jitters. And looks like now on 4th down, Campbell County is going to go for it. 4th and a long 25, and now here comes the punter.
And I think it was more a personnel issue of at least they were missing one piece.
Now instead of Dykes punting, it'll be VJ Pitter punting for Campbell County. Pitter puts it down, throws it up. Left to right spin on the punt. It lands at the 42 and then takes a big bounce past the 50 to the East 48-yard line. That's where the Thunderbirds will retake over possession. Again, Graydon Buell with the interception his last time out. So you'd have to think if you're Coach Chad Goff, you're going to bring out your number 1 offense again because you don't want them to end on that sour note.
Yeah, without a doubt. But you'll see, again, not anticipating a whole lot of hesitation on throwing by one Graydon Buell, but at least interested to see if Cheyenne East approaches more of a running, at least approach here to kill more time off the clock.
They started that way. It was a 6-yard and then a 7-yard and a 12-yard run in that first possession for Christian Anderton. So the offensive line for East were definitely getting Anderton into the second level without any issues. 7:15 left here in this third quarter. 41-0 East with the lead. All 41 points scored in the second half. Fly sweep over to Hesford, and he's going to barely get back to the line of scrimmage. It's great containment there by Campbell County, more specifically Dawson Hayden. It's a gain of 2 for Hesford.
for Cheyenne East and Chad Goff and this entire team again with the run play again, keeping in bounds. Tick, tick, tick goes down the clock right now.
Trips to the left. Anderton in the backfield. He gets the handoff, goes up the middle, gets to the second level, is going to be finally taken down just short of the first down. It's going to be a 6-yard gain for Anderton, who's now 1 yard shy of the century mark here in this one. Is Zach Wilcox and Dawson Hayden in on the tackles. They quickly give it back to Anderton, who kicks it out to the left side. He's at the 40. Spin around. He gets out of one tackle, but then immediately tackled, and this time it will be at the 41-yard line. So he gets 2 yards. It's enough for a first down. And on his 16th carry of the night, as he comes jogging out to the bench, he has 101 yards to go with his 2 touchdowns. The new running back is Colton Haugen. Buell looks over the defense with 2 split to the left and the right of him. Haugen in the backfield takes the handoff, goes to the right side, now cuts it back up in the middle. Will be brought down at the 37-yard line. So a gain of 4
and again,
for Haugen.
As we're seeing on this possession, again, Cheyenne's getting quick to line, but again, keeping it to the ground.
2nd and 5, 5:50 left in the third quarter. Wanting more tempo. Here is East. Quick hitch over to Michaeli, who does a great job to get his hands underneath it to make the play. It's going to be a connection of 8 yards and a first down for East.
And as they hurry up to the line.
A quick throw out to Hesford, who's got numbers and blockers in front of him. Hesford cuts it up in a gain of 15 as he gets it down to the 14-yard line.
You give credit to at least Hesford on that play where, again, being aggressive. They also, too, the issue that I'm seeing out there on the defensive side for Campbell County, they're having a difficulty wrapping up and tackling players, at least tackling those Eastside Thunderbirds.
That puts Graydon Buell over the 300 mark in game number 1 for East this year. 41-0. They're looking to get that clock running as the handoff to Haugen. He's got a little bit of space. He gets it to the 10, inside the 10, down to the 7-yard line. It looks like a gain of 7 for Colton Haugen as we getting a good look at the second running back for East. Trips to the right, one receiver out to the left, another handoff. Buell instead pulls it out. He gets around the containment on the right side, throws a lob pass over the shoulder or over the head of the defender over to Ox Schroeder, who catches it on the left side of the end zone. Just easy go for East, and a flag way after the call. I think they're going to call Graydon Buell past the line of scrimmage, and I think that's what they were looking at. So the touchdown will be negated because he was past the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a loss of down. It will be 3rd and goal, I believe.
Yeah, so the touchdown, the 6 points will come off the board again with that illegal forward pass. So another opportunity, at least, again, extra effort. Again, another big play negated by a penalty for Cheyenne East.
Well, and for that, you just got to remind your quarterback to be a little bit more aware. You do ask your quarterback to do a lot, but for Graydon Buell, this is his 3rd year being a starting quarterback, his 2nd one at East, so you expect him to know that. It's 3rd and goal. It's 3rd and goal from the 12-yard line. Bunch to the right for East. Buell on the blitz, fakes the handoff, throws it away, and past the just as short of Ox Schroeder as the heavy blitz by Pitter gets to Graydon Buell, and now it's 4th down. It's the 20th attempt for Buell.
Yeah, again, we saw that up here again. The blitz, at least saw the linebacker creeping in, and again, just found that open space, of that young, at least inexperienced offensive line for Cheyenne East and took advantage of that.
Pitter did a great job timing the snap as well. Trips to the right for Buell. Steps back to pass. Bubble screen, goes over to Michaeli. Michaeli will be cut down at the 7-yard line. It'll be a turnover on downs. It is a pass of 5 yards to Michaeli.
And again, in that situation for Cheyenne East, don't really blame them. Again, they're just trying to get those reps, those at least live looks, so to speak, in at least preparation for upcoming contests. But again, for Campbell County, now they're deep within their territory on their own 8-yard.
Well, and another thing is, too, you would like to see your place kicker, Ox Schroeder, get a chance there, but we saw what happened the last time with the wet conditions. The snap went right through the the wickets of Creighton Buell. So going for it, probably a smarter move for Coach Goff here with 4:53 left in the third quarter. Feels like the fourth quarter, but it's still the third quarter.
Yeah, again, looking at field conditions, or at least conditions here at Okie Blanchard. Again, no more rain, not even sprinkling. It looks like clear skies. Again, the thunderstorms as well out to the east here of Cheyenne.
We are getting a good light show well off to the east of us. I formation, it's Miller and Pitter in the backfield, Race under center. Race puts the left leg back for Hillard to come to the right side. Hand off to Pitter, gets around one defender, spins around on another tackle, gets it all the way out to the 25-yard line. A gain of 17 yards for Pitter, the largest gain of the night for Campbell County.
Again, seeing that play right there by Cheyenne East, you just wonder if it's a bit of complacency, again, a relaxed feeling out there since they are up by 41 points, that defense is just kind of sitting back on their heels.
Starting to see a few more subs come in as well. I believe Ox Schroeder, who started as a corner, is out. It's Jake Rail on the right side. Allmiller's still over on the left side. They still have Anderton and Hesford back at safety. So Rail just kind of spilling Schroeder for a little bit. Race turns around, hands it off to Pitter, off to the left side, gets to the 30, spinning around another tackle, all the way out of play. We'll get to the 32-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain for VJ Pitter. Starting to see a little bit of success here for Campbell County as Coach Andrew Rose starting to feel a little bit of momentum at least being built by Campbell County. Now they just got to keep the laundry off the field.
Yeah, without a doubt. Again, Campbell County, at least in the last possession, had that positive momentum, but penalties killed them. But again, so far they are driving as, again, they started out this at least series on their own 8-yard line. Here they are past the 30.
2nd and 3 on the 32. I formation again. The slot back goes into motion to the right side. It's a handoff to Pitter up the middle. Dive after dive after dive, and it's working. It's a 4-yard gain, another first down, as the ball will be spotted at the 36-yard line. 17th carry for VJ Pitter, as he'll come out and probably get a much-needed rest as he goes both ways, linebacker and running back.
And I do believe for Campbell County, again, talking about positives for this, at least young team, for the Camels for this series, I do believe this is the first time they've had back-to-back at least first downs, or at least multiple first downs in a possession.
Been doing it on the ground here. Looks like the same play every time as well. Nava gets through the front line and pops out for a good gain of 6 yards. Nava not quite as big as Pitter. May have gotten lost in the fold as the linebackers had a hard time finding the running back.
As you mentioned, for Cheyenne East on the defensive side, they've been subbing out kind of their number ones, giving some of the JV or at least players that have varsity experience. But right now, Campbell County taking advantage of it.
Again, same set. The slot on the left, he comes shuffling across to the right, and it's a handoff. Nava kicks it out. He's got the corner, but a great open field tackle on that left side for East as it limits a gain that could have been good enough for a first down, but instead it's a gain of 3 for Nava. It will be third and a very long 1 yard as the ball has been placed, the nose of the ball is at the 45-yard line on that far hash.
As we have 2:40 left here in the third quarter, again, Cheyenne East still up in this contest, 41-0.
Two tight end. Nope, now the slot, it's Hillard. He's actually on the line now, so it's a 2 tight end set. And the turn, and offside, or false start by Hillard, who pats himself on the head in frustration. Tanner Hillard, that's not Hillard, that's Micah Krumberger. Krumberger, a senior, patting himself on the head in frustration. It's the 5th penalty called on Campbell County for 35 yards. And what was once a 3rd and very short is now a 3rd and 6. And Nick, they can't afford, if they're going to have an offense where they're going to be running dives and bellies up the middle, you can't afford a 3rd and 6. You need those 3rd and 3s and lower than that even.
And without a doubt, a team that needs a lot of opportunities, or at least needs a lot of help, so to speak. Again, the penalties have been been the big factor for Campbell County to at least get some positives here in this contest.
Two split out wide. Going in motion is Krumberger. They go to the fullback, Wilcox, who gets it back to where they initially had it. It's a gain of 5. It's another fourth down, and it's getting a long one as the nose of the football's back on the 45.
And you got to assume that Campbell County's going to go for it here, and it looks like they're going to keep that offense on the field.
Well, you might as well, because at least the run up the middle has worked right behind their either the left or right guard. They've been able to have success going one way or the other. We'll see what they try to do on defense here to try to stop them.
Or could Campbell County, as we've seen them pull off a little trick plays, could they just go to the short little, at least curl, at least pass out there? But it looks like we're going to have a timeout called.
I believe the timeout will be called for East, their first timeout of the game. We'll take one as well, a 1-minute timeout. You're listening and watching to high school football on 1480 KRAE. Fourth down and 1 for Campbell County at their own 45, 41-0. East with the lead with 1:27 left here in the third quarter. Race under center. Two backs behind him. He hands it off to Pitter. Pitter picks up the first down and will rumble his way into East territory at the 49-yard line. It's a gain of 6.
And the interesting thing is, again, they keep on cutting up the middle there. Cheyenne East defense, you know what the play's going to be, but it's just this difficulty, again, containing Pitter.
Yeah, right now they're just beating you up within the tackles here. And they do have a little bit of size. At number 74, Dale Eliason is no small man in that left guard or in that center spot. Going right between the guards and the center here. In motion as the slot. It comes over to the right. Now it's a pitch to the outside to Pitter. Pitter's got a little bit of space. He gets through initially, but a good tackle at the legs by Michaeli. It's a gain of 4.
And it will be on at least, again, ball spotted on the 45 of Cheyenne East. So here's another opportunity for Campbell County again, as they are now in East territory.
This will be the 4th snap, Nick, in East territory. And if you're Coach Goff, you know, you're up 41-0, but you want that goose egg. That's more important. Yeah. I'm sure he'd be A-okay if they don't score another point, but what he doesn't want is for that to lose that goose egg. High formation again for Campbell County. Turn and handoff. Race gives it to Pitter. For Pitter, he'll drag a defender 3 yards. We'll get it to the 42-yard line.
And as that will be the final play of the third quarter.
And for Pitter, that's his 20th carry now for 75 yards. We'll take a 1-minute timeout. It's the fourth quarter right here on 1480 KRAE. It is now the fourth quarter here at Okie Blanchard, 41-0. All 41 points, though, for East have scored in the first half. So for Campbell County, maybe some positive as both teams are scoreless in that third quarter.
Well, and as we talk about the positives for Campbell County, I do want to mention as we head into the fourth quarter, again, player was down for the Camels, that being one VJ Pitter, who did hobble off to the sideline. So, again, we'll see what the extent of that injury is as we do see a new running back there for the Camels.
It's Angel Nava back in. 3 carries, 9 yards for the backup running back. He gets the handoff, comes up the middle, runs into his own guy. He would have had the first down if he didn't run into his own player. It's going to be just shy of the 40-yard line will be Angel Nava. It will be fourth and, let's say, about 1.5 yards for Nava as the first down is right around that 41. I see you haven't been able to get the orange line set up yet.
No, we're working
graphics.
on that. Again, maybe a little bit more pay added to, again, the salary
right.
or something like that. But, again, for the Camels, obviously a no-brainer here in this situation. They are going to go for it here on fourth and short, again, as they are right now in East territory, just outside of that 40-yard line.
Miller and Nava in the I formation, race under center. Race with another false start. They didn't call it, though. Miller was caught kind of leaning forward. Nava gets the first down, a pickup of 2. I don't know if you saw that, Nick, but Miller on it looks like they went on 2 there, and Miller started leaning forward, but no offside or no false start call. It's a first down for Campbell County, who's now 2 for 2 on fourth down.
So, again, right there, for at least for the Camels, a miss, at least penalty call against them. However, it will be a first down, and, again, more opportunities for them to drive and put points on the board here.
You see VJ Pitter over there on the sideline trying to test out what the injury that he had, maybe a twisted up ankle as he came down hard to the turf. It's play action. Race goes over to the left, and his pass is low as he was intending to hit Tanner Hilliard.
And again, those Camel receivers that we've seen in the small opportunities that they have of passing tonight have had the open spacing and have had that opportunity to at least, again, get big yardage for the Camels. But again, it's been either passes been short over the head. Again, it's just not been on the mark tonight.
New quarterback in will be Ashton Johnson as Race comes hobbling off and then maybe cramping up a little bit as he's getting stretched over there on the sideline. And that's a tough pass as he was rolling to a right-handed thrower, rolling to the left, kind of having to reset your shoulders just to get a good pass off. And, NFL quarterbacks have a hard time with that throw. So the first snap for Johnson for Campbell County as he goes under center in the I formation. Krumberger goes in motion to the left side, fakes the handoff, tries to go to Krumberger over the middle. Nice hit placed there by Anderton to separate man and ball. It's an incomplete pass for Johnson on his first attempt. It'll be 3rd and 10 with 10:29 left here in the fourth quarter. 41-0 East. All 41 points scored in that first half.
But again, the Camels right now knocking on the door, at least looking for their first points of tonight's contest. Again, as they sit right now on the East High 38-yard line.
Another I formation for Campbell County. 2 receivers, both split out to the left and the right. In the slot is Krumberger, their tight end. He'll shuffle his way to the left as the ball's on the right hash. Spin around, handoff to Nava, who's met in the backfield. And it was Trey Bauer that made the tackle right at the line of scrimmage. They're going to call it a loss of 1. So a tackle for loss there for Bauer as it'll be 4th and 11. And, of course, Campbell County will go for it as the ball is on the 39-yard line. This is the closest Campbell County's been able to get it on the East territory. Well, again, so you might as well go for it.
And without looking at the stats, again, this team has shown that they are kind of run-oriented. But, again, at least you have it in front of you. I don't believe at least the Camels this evening have completed 1 pass at all. So, again, are they? Again,
3. They've completed just 3, and 2 of them to a running back.
Again, with 4th and long, it would be interesting to see if this team continues to see if they can just run it up the gut, or will they air it out?
Under center, as there was some confusion by Micah Krumberger, the tight end, and a timeout has been called by Andrew Rose. 41-0, 9:31 left here in the fourth quarter. It's a 1-minute timeout right here on 1480 KRAE. .9:31 left in the fourth quarter. 41-0 East with the lead. It's been East from the first possession of the ball game. And for Campbell County, they're out there with their backup quarterback as Caden Race had to come out. Didn't know if he maybe got a cramp or what. I've seen him run on the sideline, but it's Ashton Johnson that's back in the shotgun now for Campbell County. 4th and 11. Johnson back to throw, throws it over the middle. It's caught by Zach Wilcox. A big 4th down conversion, as we were just talking about. They haven't had that big spark play in the passing game, and Johnson is able to connect.
Again, huge play right there. Again, at least a huge lapse in defense by Cheyenne East. And Campbell County now within the red zone for the first time here in tonight's game.
25-yard play. That is the biggest play, and it's the first time Campbell County has been in the red zone. It's 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. 9:05 left. If you're East, you're holding your hat on a lot of pride here that you keep Campbell County off the scoreboard. You may not need to score any more points, but you definitely don't want to, end this game with that blemish on your defense. Johnson under center, rolls out to the left, looking to throw, hits it on the stop on the left side at the 5, touchdown! Great move by Tanner Hilliard around the defender on that right side on the corner, and Campbell County is cracked open. The score for them, their first touchdown, and it comes from their backup quarterback, Ashton Johnson.
Again, for Campbell County, as we've alluded in this entire contest with the Camels, again, to take those small positives, and it paid off dividends here in this possession. Again, getting their multiple, at least first downs, again, getting the big, at least offensive plays. Here it is, 6 points, their first points of the season for the Camels.
Yeah, and if you're Coach Andrew Rose, you're going to take any type of positive you possibly can out of it, as the place kicker for Campbell County is Nate King. Back into the game to hold the kick is Caden Race, the quarterback. 41-6 now, 8:40 left, and the kick is up and through the uprights. It's good. 41-7, 8:40 left. It's a 1-minute timeout. You're listening and watching to high school football on 1480 KRAE. I'm sure Coach Chad Goff will not like the fact that the 0 was given away, but you got to give a lot of credit to Andrew Rose and Campbell County, the not going away quietly as East is set up for an onside kick here. King will instead boot it down the field, waiting for it at the 15-yard line is Anderton. Anderton off to the left side, and then out of play, it's actually Jake Rail who will run it out of the bounds at the 30-yard line for the Thunderbirds.
But East does now have the possession, up 41-7, 8:33 left here in this contest.
Still the starting offense out there for East. Of course, they haven't had the same momentum that they had built in that first half here in this third quarter. First possession, they're driving, and then it's a nice interception that was made by Mason Dykes.
Well, again, it's something that I brought up as we saw with the lapse in kind of defense there for Cheyenne East. You wonder if this team has kind of gotten a little complacent. Again, they're a little overconfident. Hey, they're up 41-0. Again, this game, as it is, well out of hand, where Cheyenne East will get their first victory here in 2019. But you wonder if it is just kind of, again, week 0, hey, emotions are there of, hey, you know, let's take it back from 100% effort out there.
And long halftime with the lightning delay. That's another thing that could have maybe
it didn't affect Campbell County. They came out firing strong, and again, at least they are at least again here in this entire at least half. Again, Campbell County showing a lot of positives here.
Buell's in the shotgun with Haugen behind him. There's a bunch set wide out to the right side. On Miller by himself, short side. Buell back to pass, throws on the post, skinny post to Miller, just out of the reach as Miller looked to try and make a spectacular one-hand grab, but it's incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
And as I see, the winds are picking up as it is now blowing more of a westerly here at Okie Blanchard Sports Complex.
Of course, when you look at one side, so we look at the field goal post to the left of us, it looks like it's blowing towards the golf course. The other side looks like it's blowing the other way. Haugen up the middle, bounces off a couple of tacklers, and gets it out to the 38. It's going to be a gain of 8 for Haugen.
And again, as the Shiny Thunderbirds will be on their own 38, at least 3rd down and 2.
Quickly back on in the pistol formation is Buell. He'll hand it off to Haugen, who pick up 4 more. And that is a 1st down for East. And again, the high-tempo offense just getting moving for East, kind of like the Oregon offense. Haugen up the middle. It's going to be a gain as he pulls forward to the 46-yard line. It will be a gain of 3 for Haugen.
And again, you got to love that high-tempo offense by Cheyenne East. Again, in theory, it's going to tire out Campbell County on the defensive side. And we've seen stints of that where those Camels come to the line, they're pretty much winded.
Kind of the same thing as this time Buell will pop it out and then throw it over the head of Hesford. He was throwing it on the run as he slaps his hands together in frustration. He hasn't been quite as sharp here in this second half as well. He started the half 15 of 17 coming into the half and has struggled since. He's only completed 1 pass and thrown 1 interception in his 6 attempts here in this second half. 7:28 left, still 41-7 though in favor of East. Campbell County did get a touchdown here in this last possession in the fourth quarter. Hesford on the fly sweep, gets it out to the right side. Flag on the play as he gets it to the 50-yard line over by the Campbell County sideline. I think this will be coming back, another hold call, I believe, as they kick the flag over to the 49-yard line. That must be where the hold had occurred.
And I do believe you're correct on that call there. If it is true against Cheyenne East, again, we'll push it back and again negate that play. And yes, they have indicated that it will be against the Thunderbirds.
That is the 10th penalty.
Again, that is right now the biggest flaw for Chad Goff and his Thunderbirds right now. It is obviously week 0. It's able to work out throughout this 2019 season, but it's something that they need to address quickly so it does not hurt them against those upper teams here in Class 4A.
Now the penalty was declined. It will be 4th down and 5 for East. The ball's placed at the 49. They need to get it to the Campbell County 47. Buell looking over the sideline, waiting for the call.
Hey, a little confusion
And you got to
right now.
think that the play clock has to be winding down very quickly. Buell in the pistol with Haugen behind him. Going in motion is Oxford. Fakes the pass, and he's going to be sacked back at the 43. It's a sack by Micah Krumberger. The first sack we've seen tonight for either team. And it's a turnover, it's a turnover on downs. That's now three possessions in a row now that East has turned the ball over on downs.
Again, it's a team that looks a little lackadaisical on both sides of the ball right now, where it's safe to say that Campbell County has all the momentum right now here in the fourth quarter. Again, still well out of it as we have 6:54 left here in this contest.
Back in at quarterback is Caden Race. Kind of a tough deal there for Ashton Johnson. He takes the team down, makes a couple of great passes, and gets taken out for Caden Race. Pitter now in the fullback position. He's back in as well. The tailback is Nava. He gets it, cuts it back. He's going to pick up 8. Looks like he'll be taken down at the 37-yard line.
And again, great field position right now, again, in East territory for the Camels. Again, another opportunity to add more points for the Camels this season.
If anything, you're just going to build momentum for the next week. Again, I believe it's all but 2 teams make it to the playoffs, correct? It's usually the bottom 2 teams.
Yeah, the bottom 2, do not make it.
So for Campbell County, a loss here doesn't mean a whole bunch other than you go 0-1, but to build that momentum for the next week is something that definitely Andrew Rose can build off of. A counter play, flag on the field. Pitter, and again, once again, Race and Pitter have collided. That's the 3rd time they collided on the handoff. It's no gain, but with the flag, I believe with who threw it, it's going to come back as it looks like it may have been a holding call.
Yeah, again, it will be against the Camels. That will back
legal shift, actually. That's the 3rd illegal shift call. As you see a lot of motion out of this Campbell County offense, and unfortunately 3 different times it's been 2 of them.
Again, it will back up the Camels.
It'll be 2nd down and 8 at the 42-yard line, the East 42-yard line. 6:04 left in the fourth quarter, 41-7. But if you're Campbell County, you race the first half, you're winning 7-0. Something you can take with you back to Gillette. Again, 2 players in motion. It'll be an illegal shift. The completion to the left side is completed to Nava, but it was the receiver, Wilcox, or Dykes, who was moving back and forth, wasn't sure if he should be on the line or off the line.
And there is another flag down on the field. And again, looks towards that at the sideline where, Dykes was at least tackled out of bounds.
So again, more
and it looks like
pre-snap motion by Campbell County. This time just confusion. I think Dykes didn't know if he should be on the line or off the line. But they're going to actually call it a false start. They didn't, even though it was a pre-snap penalty, they didn't blow the whistle dead.
Yeah. Again, it's week 0 for all of us
Yes.
out here, again, at Oakey Blanchard Sports Complex.
So it's going to move them back 5 more. It'll be 2nd and 13 from the 47. A first half for East that was extremely efficient on both sides of the ball, and a little bit sloppy here in the second half. Well, some of it can probably be attributed to the longer halftime with the lightning delay.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's a tale of 2 halves between these 2 teams.
Handoffs to the fullback, Wilcox. He'll pick up maybe about 3 or 2. And for Wilcox, with that gain, will bring up a 3rd and 11 for Campbell County.
3rd and 11 where the Camels are on the East Thunderbirds 45-yard line.
Again, if you look at some positives for Campbell County, a lot more snaps in the east side of the field in this second half, where in the first half they didn't have a single snap. in the east side of the field, and they also got a lot more first downs here in this second half.
Well, it's something I mentioned at halftime where it's get those small positives, climb those small hills, and Campbell County has been able to do that here in this second half.
Foster split out to the near side. I formation with Krumberger going in Ocean, and another flag as Race will throw it out past the diving Foster. Another pre-snap shifting too many men in motion penalty. I would think that will be declined.
It should be declined, which would lead to a 4th and 11 for the Camels here, which we know they will go for at this point in time. But
and at this point, though, you just got to stay still. If you're not the man that's supposed to be in motion, don't move. This is the 4th play in a row where there's been some type of pre-snap motion penalty. The penalty has been declined by Coach Goff. It's 4th down and 11 from the east 45-yard line.
Again, where we talked about the difference between penalties for Cheyenne East and Campbell County, now it's starting to get even up here. Again, with the Camels at least having a little mental miscues here in this 4th quarter.
I believe they'll spread it out a little bit more as the fullback Wilcox comes out. Angel Nava will come in for him. 4:30 left here in this 4th quarter. We're at Oakey Blanchard. Again, next week we'll be at Riskfield over at Central for the Indians and the Sheridan Bronx.
Which kickoff for that game will be at 6 o'clock coming up next Friday.
Back to passes, Ray. Pump fake, throws it up high and far. Schroeder with a good job keeping Foster in front of him. The pass is incomplete. Now East will take over with 4:11 left, up 41-7.
And turnover and downs. Cheyenne East has an opportunity to add more points to the board, as it seems like that's what's been the goal right now for Chad Goff and this East High Thunderbird Elite squad.
As far as what's on tap for our post-game show, we'll see if we can. Usually Coach Goff will come up with a couple of players. We'll see if he comes up again. Of course, game that started at 7 o'clock with a lightning delay. It's a little bit later now, but we'll definitely have the final stats for you tonight as Graydon Buell passing for over 300 yards. Chance Allmiller with over 200 yards receiving tonight. Also, they've connected 3 times. Handoff in the middle. Good job by the front defensive line for Campbell County. It is Robert Collins with the stop as Anderton actually comes back in for East.
And if anything, it just ticks off clock right now for Cheyenne East to wrap up this victory here at home.
Trips to the right for Graydon Buell as he's in the pistol. It's a stretch play to Anderton. He gets to the right side, and a great open field tackle right there by Zach Wilcox on the right side. If Anderton's able to get out of that, he's got a lot of green turf in front of him. It's a gain of 1 as he gets it back to the original line of scrimmage.
But credit to Campbell County there, that defense containing Anderton. And again, only at least a 1-yard gain. 3rd and 9 for Cheyenne East.
Trips to the left now as that's the open side of the field. Actually empty set. Anderton is now in the slot to the left of Buell. And a passing situation in 3rd and long. Buell takes the snap. 2 steps back, looking for an open receiver. Will sprint out to the right and then throw a lob pass. Keeping his feet in play is Schroeder. It's a completion of 15 yards.
As we were waiting the official call on that one. But yes.
Right. So 321 yards now for Graydon Buell, who has Anderton in the backfield with 2:52 left here in the 4th quarter. He hands it off to Anderton. No, he pulls it out, throws it over to Hesford. Gets to the outside, out over the containment and out at the 29-yard line. He threw it backwards. We'll see if they count it as a pass, though. Kind of that run-pass option for Graydon Buell.
Without a doubt, but either way, again, on that determination, it's another first down for Cheyenne East as they are driving now on that Campbell County side of the field.
Yeah, it was a run, so it's a 13-yard run for Hesford. Buell pointing out the mic on the other side, gets the snap, fakes the handoff. This time it is a pass. He throws it in front of Schroeder. It's an incomplete pass, and again, Buell upset with himself. Just not with that short of a pass, you don't need to You don't need to rush it as much.
He rushed that. Again, it was wide open. No need for that. Just another mental miscue there. But again, it's second down and 10 at the Campbell County 29 for Cheyenne East.
Miller tight to the left side, 3 receivers on the right. It's Hesford, Oxschroeder, and Michaeli on the right side, and then it's now Haugen behind Buell. Buell hands it off to Haugen. He's got a little bit of room in the front side, gets it to the 25-yard line. A gain of 5. It'll be 3rd and 5 now for Cheyenne East at the Campbell County 25.
As we are at 2:20 left here in this contest, Cheyenne East leading this game 41-7 over the Campbell County Camels.
2:15 and counting, as Nick said. Buell on a 3rd and 5 with Haugen behind him, split 2 receivers each, and a flag, offside by Campbell County. And let's see, that could be close to a first down, as I believe that's the first defensive penalty, Nick, that we've seen in this game.
I do believe you are correct on that one. But yes, it'll say 3rd and short.
Buell waiting for the officials to bring it back in play. They do. Looks over the defense. Picks up the right leg, gets the snap, hands it off to Haugen, who will pick up the first down and a little bit more as he spins around to the 16-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 4.
As East High once again in the red zone, at least here in this half. First time they've been in the red zone.
It's going to be 2 receivers split to the left and the right. Haugen again behind Buell as they continue in the spread and the no-huddle offense. Buell turns around, hands it off to Haugen, kicks it to the left side, gets to the 10-yard line, runs over the corner, who comes up with the tackle, Nate King. It's going to be a gain, I believe, of 7 for Haugen.
And you are correct on that one. Second down and 3 for Cheyenne East. Again, as they sit on the Campbell County 9-yard line.
1:18 left now. It's 8 carries, 42 yards now for the backup running back, Colton Haugen.
And Cheyenne East right now looking to just put the nail in the coffin here against Campbell County.
Haugen dragged down in the backfield. It's Hunter Kramer who comes in with the tackle. Haugen able to get it back to the line of scrimmage, though. It will stay 3rd and 3.
As the clock still continues to tick down, 50 seconds left here in this contest.
2 receivers split to the left and the right. Haugen in the backfield as Buell will wind down this play clock as low as he possibly can. 30 seconds left here in this 4th quarter, 41-7, East with the lead. Buell, nobody home, and he's tackled. He did the play fake to the wrong side, and the tackle is Connor Hooks as he comes up with the 2nd sack of the night, and that should be the final play of the game. As Buell and the offense, they come walking off. Well, there's going to be some work that needs to be done, and Maine Talk will be playing 4 quarters as East scores 41 points in the first half. In this game, it's enough. But you can't play 2 quarters worth of game against teams like Natrona County or Sheridan. They won't win you a lot of ball games. But for East in week 0, it doesn't matter if it's ugly or pretty. All you got to do is get the wins, and that's what East did here tonight with the 41-7 victory. Nick, as far as East goes, their offense, when it gets rolling, I don't want to say it's as high tempo as Oregon, but when they get going very fast, and they're very efficient.
Oh, yeah, again, when Graydon Buell is on point, as we saw there in the first half, again, you talk about, 100% effort, again, first at least 7 throws by Graydon Buell. Again, he has that talent, he has that tools, again, to be one of the top, at least elite quarterbacks here in Class 4A here in the state of Wyoming. But again, when we saw this team get that heavy lead heading into that second half, again, complacency, again, a team that, again, felt, hey, we don't need to give that full effort, and Campbell County took advantage of it. Now, again, if it is a Sheridan of the world, Thunder Basin of the world, would it be a different result where we see teams like that come back and, again, make these an interesting ball game, so to speak? It is something that Cheyenne East does have to work on, at least coming up here, again, this week to prepare for themselves. Again, Cheyenne East also, too, again, head coach Chad Goff, they need to address the penalties. That was a big issue, and that's going to cost them many ball games when they take on the Sheridan Thunder Basins of the world. Again, that is something they need to desperately clean up.
Yeah, and I'm sure as they all come together over at the 25-yard line, that's probably one of the things that will be talked about a lot here in this one. You'll get some attaboys, but you're also going to get some things that they need to work on, because when you want to be, when your thing is being state champion, the mistakes like that are something that you can't do, as you said, when you start playing the better teams. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. We'll see if we can get Coach Chad Goff and a player or two up here. If not, we'll give you the final stats of our opening night of our high school football coverage right here on 1480 KRAE.
Well, welcome back to Okie Blanchard Sports Complex. We're in this contest, week 0 here in Cheyenne, where Cheyenne East Thunderbirds get their first victory of the 2019 campaign against Campbell County by a final score of 41-7. Again, congratulations to Chad Goff and his squad. They are meeting right now still on the field, so we are waiting for them to head up to the press box so we can talk with a few. Again, with this final here, Cheyenne East getting the victory over Campbell County, looking at a few other games underway in Class 4A, up in Natrona County, Casper, Wyoming, with the Natrona County Mustangs taking on Cheyenne South, the Fighting Bison. It is a final up there, final for Natrona County as they win that contest 68-12. So again, Natrona County, you're defending 4A state champions, kind of putting a whipping on that Fighting Bison squad. As we mentioned earlier, Sheridan, this game got underway a little bit earlier. Again, Sheridan, the Bronx at home, take care of business against Rock Springs, the Tigers, 23-7. In Laramie, the Laramie Plainsmen, they held on for a close one, but they got the victory against Kelly Walsh Trojans, 24-17. And up in Gillette with the Thunder Basin Bolts, this is an ugly one, folks, but again, the crosstown at least team for Cheyenne Central as they were up in Gillette. Thunder Basin gets the final 44-0 over Mike Apodaca's squad up there in Gillette, Wyoming.
Well, quickly take a look at the stats, as it looks like Coach Goff will be coming up with Ox Schroeder and Chance Aumiller. For Campbell County, their quarterback, Caden Race, was 3 of 10 for 18 yards. Their backup quarterback, Ashton Johnson, 2 of 3 for 39 yards. He had a 14-yard connection, though, with Hilliard. For Pitter, 20 carries, 75 yards. Race had 3 carries for 19. Miller had 4 carries for 6 yards. Nava, 7 carries, 8 yards. 1 catch for Hilliard on that 25-yard touchdown pass. as well as number 5, Wilcox. He had a 14-yard catch. Pitter had 2 catches for 14 yards, and Miller added a catch for 4 yards. They had 8 penalties to go with their 50 yards worth of penalties. And for Graydon Buell, great first half, probably some throws he would like to have back in that second half. 321 yards, though, and 4 touchdowns. We're going to talk to Chance Allmiller, who had 6 catches and 201 yards. What we're going to do is we'll finish the stats in a minute. We'll take a quick 30-second timeout and get you set up for our post-game show with Coach Chad Goff and his 2 players, Ox Schroeder and Chance Allmiller. A 30-second timeout right here on 1480 KRAE. Back to Okie Blanchard East with the 41-7 victory over Campbell County. Gosh, I almost forgot who you guys played. Now joined alongside Ox Schroeder. Ox offense looked fast. They looked furious in that first half. Just talk about the rhythm you guys were able to get into early.
Well, we noticed that when we were in 20-minute O, like our quick offense, it was working very well, so we just kept penetrating and getting first downs.
This offensive line is brand new for the most part from last year, but a lot of things that have been said, it's new, but they're athletic and they're quick, and that's got to help you guys, especially when you want to go with tempo.
Oh, yeah. We've all been conditioning pretty well, trying to get our linemen fit and, try keeping our cardio up.
And as far as, longer halftime, almost felt like a Super Bowl halftime with that lightning delay. Did that affect you guys coming out into that second half a little bit where the offense kind of stalled in that second half?
Well, I would say yes, but, we got to get over that, get over that next game. We can't come out like that mentally, and we got to execute. As
far as defense goes, you had to be proud, especially in that first half. Only 2 first downs by Campbell County. One was trick play with the fake punt. But you guys came out in a fairly new group as well. You're missing, Eldridge and Valerio in the middle. How important was it for you guys to get off to a quick start as well on defense?
It was very important. We try getting everyone involved. We got a lot of new cats, but we're putting it all together. We're trying to make a better season. Good deal. Well, thank you very much. You can go ahead and pass that to your teammate there, Chance Allmiller. As Chance, again, 6 catches, 201 yards, 3 touchdowns. Chance, offensively, man, you and Graydon a year into it to now, maybe you guys are feeling a little more comfortable with each other.
Yeah, I think it's just about the practice reps we get. We just work on all the scramble drills when he gets out the pocket. It's kind of just a backside thing for him to just kind of look, just kind of reading where the whole defense is shifting, and then looking backside just to see open throw to make it. And it also kind of helps when everybody else is running around to just get open for him to make the pass, and just him scrambling to make plays.
How nice is that? I mean, last year you guys had some skilled players, but this year you guys have some skill. I mean, you can't just key on one person. How nice is it just as just one of the cogs in the machine, so to say, where, any given night, anybody can have the type of night you had?
I think it's really good because no matter what, if I have a good night, it's about getting everybody else involved too the next week. Just they start focusing on everybody, and the next person just steps up to make the plays, just like Cole did today when everybody kind of shifted their focus over.
Defensively, you guys came out, were really good. You were able to stop them a lot. It seemed like in the second half, though, I don't know if the long halftime had anything to do with it, but Campbell County really showed some pride, especially on the offensive side. What was really the difference in that second half, what you guys saw offensively from them?
I think we just took the opportunity for granted and just didn't give them the respect they deserve. Anybody can come out and just fire off like we did in the first half, and they kind of just came out and just were we're not going to take it anymore. And to credit to them, they just weren't going to take it, and it just kind of sucked because the long halftime just got us kind of thinking we don't really have to focus as much, and we just lost focus when we should have been in the game.
And then lastly, as a senior, you're a guy that you want to end it with the state championship. You know what the top teams look like. How important will it be going to next week? You guys make sure you play 4 quarters.
It's going to be very important. We just got to stay focused in practice to make sure we keep going. And sometimes we have mental lapses, but that's going to happen no matter what. But we just got to stay focused when it comes down to crunch time, and we got to do it throughout the whole game to make sure we don't have those lapses where it costs us a big game.
Cool. Thank you very much, Chance. Well, I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot from you this season. Go ahead and you can toss it now to the man in charge, head coach Chad Goff. And coach, as you put the headset on, you guys got off to that quick start, a little bit different than when you guys went out to Gillette last year. Probably something that you were happy to see, especially a quick 3 and out, and then the offense didn't take very long to put it in the end zone.
Yeah, that's something we talked about for the last week is about, the first time we played these guys a couple years ago in the first game of the season, I think we took a sack fumble right away against us. And then we go up there last season and we're only up like 3-0 halfway through the second quarter, and then finally started going. And so we talked about starting fast. And the kids, I thought, we tried to simulate that in practice, and the kids, I thought, came out and did a really good job of starting fast.
And I think the big talk coming into this year was just the skill players. As far as your tenure here, have you had a group of skill players that have just, where any night anybody can have the night like Chance did, or a night like Anderton did going over 100 yards?
Yeah, it's been a while. I would say back in 2013, it was big time like that, and probably back in 2007, when you have those types of teams, you have that opportunity, when you have opportunity, or when you have kids that a lot of different kids that can make plays, it just helps everything.
Coach, when you look back at this game and you see the the longer halftime, and not something that's really a part of what you're used to, did that kind of have effect in the second half, or what was it about the second half that kind of made it? Because it was a tale of two halves for the most part.
No doubt. That's the one thing we talked about at halftime. Against when you're getting down the road and you have huge penalties like we did in the first half, I thought we still had huge, even though we scored 41 points, we'd have a 40-yard touchdown and it would be a 10-yard penalty, and then the next play we'd get a 50-yard touchdown. I'm like, that don't happen, fellas. That don't happen every week, and so we got to get focused, and we come out and we drive right away, we score, and boom, penalty, and we never got back on the right side of things at that point.
And then just moving forward, when you look at this conference, the same top teams are going to be there. Sheridan and Natronas, Thunder Basin will be very good. And when you look at it, you kind of measure yourself really with the teams that are right in front of you. So is that something you're going to take into the week? Obviously, you did a lot of great things, but as you were alluding to the penalties and whatnot, in those types of games, that's when it's going to get you. So you kind of got to nip it now.
Yeah, you got to work on that kind of stuff. You can't be that sloppy and expect to win a big game down the road. And so those are definitely things. I know the kids see that too, and I know they want to get better at that as well.
Well, another week of work and then off to Kelly Walsh. Yeah. So definitely best of luck out there in Casper. Another challenge for you. 41-7 winner for Cheyenne East. We'll take our final 1-minute timeout. You're listening and watching to high school football on 1480 KRAE. Blanchard, where the final here tonight is 41-7 in favor of East. As we look at the final stats, Graydon Buell was 18 of 26 tonight, 321 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 of them to Amiller and 1 more to Hesford. 6 catches, 201 yards for Amiller. 6 catches, 78 for Michaeli, 5 catches for Hesford, 59 yards. Schroeder added 2 catches for 18 yards. And then Anderton, 18 carries, 102 yards. He also added 2 touchdowns to go along with that. And you heard there's a little bit of disappointment in the way they played in the second half, but there is still a lot of good that they can get from that as well.
Yeah, without a doubt. Again, for Cheyenne East, the big issue is just addressing the penalties. But again, it is week 0 for all of us across Class 4A. It is something that will work itself out in 2019 for the Eastside Thunderbirds. But it is something that, going up to the road again against Casper Kelly Walsh, who did come back in that Laramie Plainsman game on the road in Laramie. Again, that's a team where you can't really take them too lightly. You can't give them that opportunity on, at least with the penalties, for them to cash in and if not, put points on the board and convert like that. But again, for Cheyenne East, as they travel up to Casper Kelly, at least Kelly Walsh coming up next weekend, again, anticipate that this team should be back into that well-oiled mentality. Again, weather-wise, we'll see what happens. Again, the lightning delay, as Coach Goff alluded to, and again, a few of the players, again, it did affect, again, a bit of the mentality. It was a bit of a long lull, and again, we're not as crisp as they wanted coming out at halftime.
For East, again, they will go to Casper Kelly Walsh. Campbell County, they'll also go to Casper. They'll go up against the Class 4A reigning champions, Natrona County. For us, we'll be at Central. Next week, it will be Central and Sheridan. Bronx Sheridan, of course, one of the another top team in Class 4A as well.
And as we are wrapping things up here on 1480 KRAE, again, do want to take at least an opportunity to thank all of our fine sports sponsors here. Again, without them, we would not be able to bring you high school football, high school basketball, and LCCC basketball, men's and women's basketball here on 1480 KRAE. Do want to thank Arrow Moving and Storage, B&B Appliance and TV, Baskin-Robbins, Billy Adelman, Bread Basket, also to the Burns Insurance Company, Capital Lumber Company, Charles Schwab, Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service, Chick-fil-A, Fat Boys Tire, First Education Federal Credit Union, Foot of the Rockies, First Tier Bank, Holiday Motors, High West Energy, Joed Produce, Kia of Cheyenne, LCCC. Also, too, want to take this opportunity to thank Lennox Auto Body, Little Philly, Mary's Mountain Cookies, Medicap Pharmacy, Meridian Trust Federal Credit Union, Merritt Plumbing and Heating, Page and Zach Lane at Number One Properties, Pepsi of Cheyenne, that sponsors our Pepsi scoreboard, where, again, from Okie Blanchard Sports Complex, again, Cheyenne East is at least victor tonight over Campbell County. The Camels by a final score of 41-7. Also, too, want to thank Pete's Builders, Platte Valley Bank, Taco John's, the Gill Window Company, and YDOT.
Again, we'll be back on for high school football at Central at Sheridan. That kickoff is slated for 6 p.m.
Again, with Sheridan making the long trip down to at least Cheyenne, again, it will move up an hour for us. So again, 6 o'clock, 5:30 pregame show here on 1480 AM, 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com, and video live streaming as always over there at Risky Field. Again, Periscope via Twitter at Nick Wild Sports, and also too on the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel. And do want to remind folks as well too, as we had our first high school football action here tonight, coming up tomorrow live in Laramie at the War. Again, War Memorial Stadium at 5:30 kickoff time. It will be Wyoming playing host to the Mizzou Tigers coming up again as we start football, at least on the right way here in the state of Wyoming.
And of course, if everything goes to plan, you'll see Larry Proietti doing the play-by-play as he had to get the spot start back at the house to get everything going.
Had to rush him over. Again,
right,
it's week 0.
exactly.
We're getting all new pieces in there, so again, appreciate him at least sneaking away so I can stay here for the video
side. So thank you, Larry, for that. Thank you, Troa, who was getting his first go at it, did a great job, especially there in that second half as things seem to kind of crawl along a little bit. And, of course, for my tag team partner, Nick Proietti, I am Chris Polton. We'll take you back to regular scheduled programming on 1480 KRAE.